Hi, everybody. It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. That's right. It's time for another Sarcastic Distraction, the interesting podcast for interesting people. And today might seem a little different than our previous episodes. In case you haven't figured it out, we are all filming in the studio.
We're in the same room.
Yes. All on a different wall, but in the same room.
Exactly. And as always, this is featuring the Gentleman Society of Podcasting, myself, Harvey, my heterosexual life mate, David,
Hello.
and the ever-loving AJ.
Howdy.
And today we are doing part 2 of our Wives React series to Star Wars.
For our French friends, part ducks.
Part Ducks, exactly. Featuring the lovely Nikki Marsh.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us today, Nikki.
You're welcome.
And I'm excited because we are talking, I'm sure I speak for all of us, my favorite of the 9 films of Star Wars is 4,
The
5, and
classics.
6. Yes.
Yeah.
So today, that's our
concur.
focus, is to talk to Nikki about 4, 5, and 6. These amazing freaking films. I don't care what anybody else says. and hear her takes on it. So Nikki, yeah, let's. We've been doing this from like episode 4, 5, and 6.
Yes.
Let's start with 4 and kind of just give us your thoughts.
We'll
and
do
what
4,
you-
6, 5.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do 4, 6, 5.
4, 6, 5.
Throw you-
Because
throw you
5's
for a
the
loop.
best.
Pop quiz.
No, I'm sorry guys that those are your 3 favorite. I mean, I haven't seen the last 2 yet.
3.
Well, I've seen
Oh,
I've seen
I'm
number-
That's true.
7 when it like first came out.
Gotcha.
But I haven't seen 8 or 9 at all. Like I have no idea what happens to them
Wow.
whatsoever.
You're in for like a shock.
Right. I guess so. But no, these 3, were very
Amazing. Wonderful.
okay.
Fantabulous.
Okay, what?
Did I get myself back? See, I put myself over on this wall
I was-
thinking I was safe, but now I'm like completely
You may want to have sat by the
kind
doors.
of blocked myself in. I
Like
have
this
no
was a
exit.
safe zone.
It was. I thought, our studio is safe. No, they like I like all the movies. Like I was saying last time, they're all really good. But these are definitely not my favorite. But I also, like I said last time, I fell in love with the Anakin stories in the first 3. So in these ones, he disappoints me
Why?
a lot. Well, because like he's like, I'm sorry, but I don't know, maybe it's my own opinion, obviously, but he definitely just kind of becomes a pussy. Like
Hold
He-
up.
Darth
Hold up.
Vader's
Hold
a
up. Hold up.
pussy?
Hold up.
Yes.
Becomes a
Wait a
Really?
second.
Because
I'm
he's
unexpected
not-
on this.
The Dark
okay,
Lord of the
first of
Galaxy.
all, you guys.
Greatest villain in movie history.
First of all, he saves his son's life.
Mufasa.
Wait,
Let's-
not in episode 4.
No,
Right.
No, that's
I'm
all the
talking
way
in general still.
Sure,
In
okay.
general
All right.
still, it disappointed me because of his demeanor throughout these 3 versus the last 3. Obviously, they weren't more about him in these 3. But anyway, sorry. Okay, sorry. Back to episode
But wait,
4.
wait.
Dave.
On your point real quickly. So for you didn't feel the arc was natural from 1, 2, 3 to 4, 5, and 6. Is that for Vader? Is that what you're saying here?
Yeah, something happened with
Okay.
his character development, and I don't know what the hell they were thinking, but
Well, they made 4, 5, and
Really?
6 before 1, 2, and 3. That's probably what happened. but-
yeah, they did it wrong.
They
They did it
developed the
backwards.
character
For
backwards.
sure, yeah.
So-
Although it does make you think, like, what the hell would have happened if they did 1, 2, and 3 first?
Oh, well, it would have been ruined, I think, overall.
It would
I
have
don't
been
think
the
we'd be
way that
talking
I'm
about
telling you it should be, because this is how I've watched it.
Fair.
I thought Vader came off as not super evil, but, roughy evil. He was still very much, bow to the Empire, take instruction. He wasn't the leader in 4.
No, but they made him out to be the bad guy. They were kind of running, like it just. They made him the bad guy running after Skywalker, but it's like he's just taking orders from some other dude.
Yeah, in
He's-
4, he's very
yeah.
much that. Yeah.
But to be fair, in 4, like if you see that
New
before
Hope,
anything
yeah.
else, New Hope,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know that, right? Like there is
Yeah.
no, I don't think the Palpatine's not in it, right? We don't
Who?
see Sidious. We don't see him in 4 at all, right?
No.
God,
5
no.
and 6.
Mm.
We see
Yeah.
in the videos,
No.
right?
Yeah.
So it does feel like when you watch 4 that Vader is his menacing character, and it's like, wow, that's weird that he got bested so easy.
This is where we're going to struggle, because are we going to tackle 4 from that story perspective, or because when they made 4, they made it in the sense that it could have been the only one ever
Right.
made, not even 5 and 6.
Which is why people think it's their favorite.
And I think that's where it's
Yeah.
gonna be hard for me, because this is not movie number 1. this is
Yeah.
movie number 4.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? So I could not watch that without knowing what I know has already happened.
Hmm.
Do you think that would have changed your experience if you saw 4 without? Like, I know you know Star Wars lore. I know you haven't really. This is your first time watching them front to back.
Mhm.
But do you think if you saw 4 without seeing the other 3, it would have been a better experience for you, or do you think it would have made a difference?
As a general movie, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not knowing but like I think it would have been there was some information that you do get in 1, 2, and 3 that kind of makes it a little easier to follow some of the things in 4, 5, and 6 if you know it already.
Like midichlorians.
But like
Oh,
it's also
don't
really
start
weird
that.
to watch it knowing like I don't know in number 4 do they they fight in number 4, right?
Who fight?
It's the
Vader and Luke?
No,
No,
that's in
No.
Empire.
Obi-Wan and
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan and
Obi-Wan
Vader.
gives
right,
himself.
because Obi-Wan sacrifices himself.
Correct.
Right. So
Right.
there's no
Yeah.
fighting there. But so now I don't have a point to that.
Just that
'Cause
it's a great fight,
yeah,
but Obi gives himself up.
But yeah.
Was it a great fight though?
No.
No, it
For
wasn't.
1977, yeah.
Like
I mean, 1977. Those were lightsabers.
I don't know.
dude.
They had like
Are we really going down
Flynn,
that
Errol
path?
Flynn movies and stuff before that.
For sure. Yeah, that's true.
The important thing to always
They were kinda
remember:
just-
and Alien. Yeah.
Han shot first.
Han. I agree. Han
Yeah.
shot first.
Yeah, I only bring it up.
Do you
once.
remember that? Do you remember that scene?
What
So
one?
when they first meet the Han Solo, and he goes and he talks to that green dude.
Yeah.
Guido.
Greedo.
Guido.
Guido the Greedo the Guido.
Oh my god.
Oh, there's a new character.
And he kills him. But who shot first?
yes.
It's one of those eternal
Yeah,
questions.
it's one of those things.
It's Star Wars
Yeah.
fandom eternal questions. Who shot first?
Yeah,
They both shot.
but in the original, Han just shoots him.
Yeah.
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 In the original, there is no
when-
double shot.
like, you probably are watching the remakes.
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah.
the old
I
ones
don't
are old.
remember seeing a
Unfortunately,
double
yeah,
shot
it's the only
though.
ones we
Yeah.
could.
Yeah.
I think
I only remember seeing Solo shoot him.
Oh.
Oh,
there you
well,
go.
That's what I'm
see.
trying to say. Like I
That's
don't
an
I don't
interesting
remember a
perspective.
double shot.
Nice.
So
All right, good.
yeah.
So
'cause
all
they've
the Star
changed
Wars
it-
fans out there,
They've changed it 2 or 3 times.
get ahead of the argument. Maybe just see Han shooting.
Yeah,
That's
There you go. Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
stop it.
Stop it. Stop the fighting.
Stop being ridiculous.
That's always
Star
the thing
Wars.
that bugged me about 4. Is 4 was the one where they did all the updates and everything. It's just, it had a
Oh,
beautiful
Like
style.
the one
Yeah.
scene where they're on like the clones are looking for them in the desert and they're on one of those beasts in
Yeah.
the background and you're like, that is so out of place.
They're called banthas.
Jabba the
but
Hutt
yeah.
being in it.
Yeah,
Oy vey.
Jabba.
Oh, the
Okay.
little walking thing.
And he
Oh,
steps.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
See,
That's
he was
so
supposed to be
weird.
a humanoid.
Was he?
Yeah, I remember hearing something like
That's
that.
where
as well.
that's where that piece of scenery, like that scene, is taken from, and then they just computerized Jabba the Hutt over top of the dude.
Yeah.
That might have made sense, but if he was like a humanoid, but the fact that they made him like this fat gelatinous,
Yeah.
whatever. I think
Yeah.
they didn't
Yeah.
need that. They didn't need that.
No.
It's just kind of weird.
So what were your favorite moments of 4, Nikki? If you can mention any
If I could pinpoint them.
and characters and such. If you like,
I like
characters.
when they brought Uncle Ben back in, like when Obi was back into the story. Like I thought that was kind of a neat way to find him.
Uncle Ben
Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben
Yeah, Uncle Ben's,
Ben.
brought you
Uncle
some
Ben.
rice.
Uncle Ben's
Yeah.
dress.
Yeah.
But I thought that was kind of a neat way to do that. Like to kind of get the story of
It was-
Luke, essentially like where he's been and whatnot.
Mhm.
And then the little garbage collector guys.
Oh yeah, the
Jawas.
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 Jawas are great.
Yeah, I don't know. That was probably one of the best things. I like. I find that Leia's character is seems pretty okay in this one. I don't like. I'll get into her character, I think, a little bit more in the next couple of movies because obviously, like, she's just kind of captured in this one. There's not a whole lot, but
Yeah.
She's still kind of badass though.
Oh yeah.
but
she's
she
badass.
is. She is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I have notes and they're all a mess. That's all. They're a complete mess.
okay.
And we
We'll have
started
a
talking.
podcast about that later.
We've been back and forth on the storyline on this one, so I'm all confused as to when things were happening. Oh, I'm sorry, but this one I remember. This was the most convenient movie
Right.
of them all.
We've talked about this, and we have to have an episode where AJ and Nikki too has a theory that everything that happens in Star Wars lore is very convenient.
It just happens just so
Yeah.
happens to be able to happen or
And work
right?
out.
Like
yeah.
they
work out
just
or-
so
Yeah.
happened to get C-3PO and R2 back on the line to shut off the garbage compactor just in time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Just
Yeah.
in
Movie stuff.
time.
One could say it was
Like,
the full
I mean,
speak.
Yeah.
I always thought it was like that in the first three too. Like
Oh, it
there was
was.
very much coincidences, but like
Yeah.
this one was just
chock
one
full.
after
Yep.
another after another.
I mean, I think I know the behind the scenes reason as to why that is, but I hear what you're saying. I think that's a
Well,
valid
yeah,
point.
it's an easy way to write.
Well, it's the type of story Star Wars is. Like, again,
Yeah.
we'll have this episode someday. We'll have the Star Trek, which is a far
Right.
better movie
shut
and
up.
show series than Star Wars.
I
But
ain't shitting
Star
your
Wars is
ass.
just, it's the next, the next.
I think that's gonna be fun because I'm in both camps.
Yeah. I mean, I am too, but like Star Wars
Yeah.
clearly wins out.
When we get into Empire, there'll be even more of that because Empire, in my mind, is where they introduce the cutscenes where they just, and they got multiple stories, but all the
Right.
stories are basically just action. And
Mhm.
again, it gets even, I
oh
shouldn't say,
yeah,
I
that's a
shouldn't
good
say
point.
worse, but it gets more, all over the
Bing, bang,
place
boom.
as we get into 7, 8, 9.
Yeah,
Yeah, either way. That'll
yeah.
be
Those
tomorrow.
are action. Those are action fests.
Oh
Those-
god, yeah. It's cut.
It's all about the visuals.
Yeah.
Those three. Characters. So you obviously like Leia. I mean, something to be said about Leia. 77. She was a strong female character. The only other person I could think of in that time would have been Ripley from Alien,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
So that's kind of cool to see. Yeah, sure, she was captured, but she wasn't taking that shit lying down either,
But
right?
well, she was captured because she stole the Death Star plans.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
She was doing badassery, and
Yeah.
that's what got her captured. I can't say and she managed to get the freaking robot out of there and off,
Right.
to get the plans to who they needed to get to. So she obviously succeeded, whether she
Yeah.
got captured or not, and
Yeah.
she gets saved anyway. So
I got a
fuck-
question for
she's a
you.
princess.
Did you find it's a quick switch topic a little bit? Not really, but the droids. Did you find they changed from 1, 2, and 3 to 4, 5, and 6, or did you feel like the same watching C-3PO and R2?
Well, C-3PO, I don't think. No, I think they're still as snarky little robots that they are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, I think it's kind of neat to. No, yeah. I thought it was funny when they separated in the desert.
That's-
It's like, really, guys?
Their
Like,
little-
you're like
their
a
little
married
argument,
couple.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, this little
They are a
argument. Like,
married
you guys
couple.
are
I know.
robots.
It's like you guys are
This
robots.
is
You don't have
so
GPS.
freaking
Like,
cute. And then I got so heartfelt when I saw them reunite in the little garbage collector guys thing, and then like when C-3PO basically saves R2 by being like, "No, that droid, I know that droid's really good," like, and gets him on board too. So, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
R2 definitely gets up to some little shit. He's a little shit to
Oh
start
yeah.
with.
oh,
Yes,
he's a badass.
He's
Yeah,
kind of
I
the
love
key
him.
in a way to a lot of the plot,
yeah.
right? I don't know.
Definitely.
I'm trying to
He's-
remember
he's one
1,
thing
2,
that kinda-
3. I don't think he was
No,
key
he
player
was,
in those ones, but from this point on, he's
he has his
Yeah.
moments.
He was
they
he was
both do.
pivotal moments in 1, 2, and 3, sure, but you're right. He wasn't like a key character like he was in
Mhm.
4, 5, and 6, right? I think that's why they made it so, or why they retconned Anakin building C-3PO, because I don't think that was ever like I never
Well,
thought
he,
that.
he
4, 5, and 6.
repaired him because
Right.
there are other robots like him.
But I think
Yeah.
that was to give them
Mm-hmm.
something a little bit more.
A connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting there. They only-
definitely the Laurel and Hardy kind of
absolutely
Smothers Brothers of the Star Wars universe. Those two.
Yeah, nobody knows who Laurel Hardy is or the Smother Brothers. Google them; they're hilarious. You should knowing your old school comedy.
That's
Moving
right.
on here.
Oh my god.
So, would you watch 4 again?
Eh.
Okay, all right.
It like to me.
Please
it
no
wasn't-
hate mail from people.
Hey,
It
don't
was-
don't add us for this, right? That's what
wasn't-
the kids say.
It just doesn't like I don't know. There was a lot to it. Like you kind of learn a bit about some stuff. I don't know. It just wasn't very informative. It just was kind of a movie.
Gotcha.
Like there wasn't
I
a
can see
whole
that.
there wasn't a whole lot to it. Like
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, there's-
even the Battle of Hoth, it was just like okay, or no, sorry, that's
Wrong
the
one.
wrong movie.
That's the next
Um,
one.
I
the
would say
next one.
That's
Huh?
why
You
you
got
were
the
looking at your.
no, I went to the wrong thing. But no, like it was just a rescue the princess movie.
It's well, and again,
Yeah,
that's one thing I'll
essentially.
give it. It was a
Like-
rescue the princess, but then it was the okay, we got the princess. Now let's go to that next step, which is hey, let's go
Yeah.
take down the empire.
It's like, sorry, you're.
So it was
I
just
get-
a movie to make a movie.
I get what you're saying though.
Because they could have just squished that into the front of the next movie and gotten it over with.
Yeah, 4 could have been all on its own.
Sure.
Definitely.
Like it
Yeah.
didn't.
It was like
you
a
didn't
night
need a whole
movie,
movie.
if you think about it. Like
Yeah.
a story of,
Yeah.
For sure.
going to the castle and rescuing the princess from the dragon.
I mean, it gives
Kinda
you a Luke background so that you can understand him like in the next movie, like because you have to watch his character grow
Yeah.
to get through these next couple of movies, right? So if you don't give people who he is as this younger adult,
Mhm.
then you're not going to get people to get in on the next movies anyway, because they want to know who this kid is. They want to know what's going on with.
You
this
have to be
character.
invested in Luke. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
for sure.
he's definitely the main thing you're paying attention to especially in A New Hope, like because it's him. That's
He's the
his
new hope.
background story.
Wow,
He's
what
the
I
Luke.
find
Hope,
funny about
yeah.
you making that point is you go back to the first one, it's Anakin. Without Anakin, there's no anything there
Exactly.
either. They actually just redid in my opinion. Again,
Essentially,
I-
yeah.
Mhm.
Because it's the same thing. But anyway, that's
Just
not,
in-
It
in a
is.
much
No,
worse
you're
way.
absolutely
Is that-
right.
1 and 4 are basically
But-
the same.
But I feel like number 1 gave us more than number 4.
Blasphemy, lady.
Oh,
This
That's-
podcast is over.
yeah.
I'll be calling a lawyer in the morning, by the way.
All I can say is I never once heard Luke complain about sand. Just want to say that.
That's true. That's
It's
true.
never happened. Seems to be a gripe of Anakin's. Well, hey, everyone's entitled to their opinion, even
Hey.
if it is wrong. I'm not going to sit there and knock on anyone's opinion.
That's true.
He's trying to talk like he knows toddler Luke.
I do know toddler Luke.
That is kind of a.
No,
I'm
that's
sorry.
a-
I'm just thinking about that. How it is kind of the same movie, but different.
Oh, there's differences.
Because he
but it's
sorta-
the same.
Luke kind of did it on his own. Wanted to go out on his own by himself.
Yes.
Whereas in the first one, somebody kidnapped this little boy. And
Yes.
Well, hold on though. Would Luke have left if his aunt uncle didn't get fried up?
Ooh, good question.
Well, no. If the again, yeah. If the,
Right? Like
But
if
in the
his
first
aunt and
one-
uncle didn't get killed
Yeah.
in number 4, would he have left with Obi in the first place?
And the same thing happened in the first,
good
where if the
point.
Jedi hadn't landed on that planet because they required it, we wouldn't have actually been introduced at all to
You're right.
Darth Vader in the end.
Sure.
Right. So it's one of those funny things where it's very similar. In the
He's going to
story.
talk about this the whole time.
Oh, we
now,
could.
isn't
So
he?
I'm going to be very good.
Oh, this is like,
I'm just kidding.
but this we've been talking about this stuff on a regular
Yeah.
conversation. So
Yeah, this episode's about 4. The next episode will be about the best one, which is Empire Strikes Back,
Empire.
and then we'll move on.
yeah.
and then we'll figure it out. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's a very interesting perspective, and I think with you resonating so much with Anakin's storyline, that makes perfect sense. And there are definitely some things that don't hate me, but Episode 1 does way better than Episode 4. Like
Oh, there would.
lightsaber battles, obviously.
Well,
yeah.
That I think they also have that give and take chase mechanic, that plot thing does it far better in 1 than it does in 4. But I mean, I feel like 4 is a better made film, even though it is, like you said, I agree that it's a film, only because I don't like Lucas was like, well, I'm going to throw as much shit as I can to the wall because I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to make this again. Whereas when he
Yeah.
made Episode 1, he knew for a fact he was making episodes 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And he also knew he was probably going to make 7, 8, 9 at
Yeah.
one point. So he made those with a very different lens,
Yeah.
pardon
Mhm.
the pun.
Well, and you knew what mistakes you made in number
Right.
4 to make number 1.
Like we're talking, what, 20
Right?
some odd years
So,
later?
At
yeah,
least,
like
yeah.
you can
Yeah,
remake it
49 years.
essentially. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, there's going to be similar storylines because it's
For sure.
still the growth of characters
Oh, yeah.
again, right? New characters that have come, like,
Oh, yeah.
but you're right. It's definitely based on when you think of the release dates of the actual movies too, right?
For
Like,
sure.
if you don't think of the release dates, then it's just what it is. But when you think of, okay, well, number 4 was released, almost 20 years before the other ones,
Mhm.
then yeah, obviously they had a little more knowledge, maybe even a few different types of writers and people working on it and stuff. So.
Mhm.
Definitely. But all jokes aside, I definitely respect and appreciate your opinion, even though it is not my own. So
We love hearing your opinion, even though it's
sure
wrong.
do.
He's just kissing butt.
No, I mean, listen. If we didn't have
Please
difference of opinions, we'd all be the same, and maybe no one would like Star Wars and
It'd
screw
be no
y'all.
fun.
But yeah. So let's move on to Episode 5. If spoiler alert, I think AJ's Days was my favorite movie. All 9 of them. Or are you a Jedi guy?
Just like quickly replaying it in my head now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to say I'm more partial. I don't know.
Yeah. Like I've gone on record. Empire is not like just my favorite Star Wars movie. It's one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. Like I love it. I
don't know if I'd go that high, but it's
I love
definitely one of my favorite Star Wars.
It totally freaking, man, everything.
I don't know if I can pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. Almost.
No, yeah, you're right. No, there's definitely a lot in Jedi that kind of.
When we get to Jedi, like I grew up with Jedi. That's probably
Right.
the first Star Wars I ever saw. So that one was my original favorite. But then over time, becoming an adult, I still, even rewatching these 3, it's my fave.
Empire's like, man, it's the movie that it's all about the angst. If you're an angsty person, you love Empire.
To the earlier point, in my mind, Empire is where some of these things get introduced to us. Like we still see, Leia kick ass, Han actually struggling to try and be goodish in his funny way.
Yeah.
But then we actually start to see, oh, wait a minute, Vader's his father?
Empire, yeah. Sure, but enough about our love of it.
Sorry, yeah, we've just taken
Nikki.
this over.
Your thoughts on episode 5, Empire Strikes Back.
I'm gonna go right off the last thing Dave said and talk about the fact that it's not a surprise for me that Vader was his father. That was not mind blowing, right? So like to me, it was like, yeah, I knew this 2 movies ago. Like,
Why is the
I already
camera
know this.
holding?
Who gives a crap? Like, whatever. People need to start saying the line right, is what I'm learning.
Agreed.
Just for all you fans out there. But yeah, I thought I agree with the building of the characters and stuff in this one seems to come around. I could go without the Han and Leia thing. I think it's freaking ridiculous.
What?
That's true love right
That's
there.
true love. How are you
Boy.
shitting on true love right there?
It's better than the Luke and Leia thing.
Yes, but and that's funny. I'm the only girl in the room, and I'm the one being chastised because I don't like the love story aspect. Come on, guys. Sorry, but like, first of all, why are you being such a bitch? Like, you don't
Who?
have to.
Han or Leia?
Leia.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, he is
I
kind of
never
being
really
that
thought.
way.
Honestly, I never thought Leia was the bitch in that situation. I always thought like, yeah, she's playing coy, whatever. But I never felt like
She's rejecting her feelings because she knows that she is out of a higher standard.
Yes. There he said.
Yeah.
what he said.
All right, guys. Sorry.
That's okay. But hey,
we can talk about something else. That's all right. Okay, we can talk about. Okay, let's talk about cutting open the animal.
Oh,
for a
right,
second.
yeah, the
Can we talk
tauntaun.
about
To save a
that?
life,
Sure.
I always
I
liked
would
that
do the
part.
same thing.
Yeah, what did you
I
say?
I
was
thought it
neat.
was badass.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were fighting against
First
it.
of all, I thought
I
it was
just thought it
really
was
cool
neat.
because Han uses his lightsaber.
Yep.
For the longest time, he was the only non-Jedi that used a lightsaber.
That's okay, because I was like, wait a second, that's actually something kind of really cool that's happening here. It's not just cool that he's saving his buddy's life by thinking with his head for once, but he's actually using the lightsaber, and you're not. But there's also this little hint to Han, I feel, that, again, I've never watched the Solo movie either, just to put that
Actually, okay.
disclaimer out
It's
there.
okay. It's all right.
Yeah, it's an okay one.
But
Movie.
I always feel like there's a little bit of something Jedi-ish, Force-ish with
That's what I was
Han
gonna.
Solo.
I was just
Why
about
do
to
you say
comment
that?
because I've always harkening back to the question. Don't you have to have the Force to use a lightsaber, or is that not a thing?
It's changed
was it
over
not a thing?
time. Yeah, it's changed over time. I don't know if that's the case. But here's the funny thing about Han is, it is actually really well represented in Solo, even though it's an okay movie. What was that? Oh,
I have no idea what that was.
hello, mother.
That was upstairs. It wasn't
That
your
was upstairs.
I was
equipment.
gonna say my speakers aren't on. Oh, maybe somebody slammed the door.
Somebody
Okay.
slammed the door in the bathroom.
All right. Spit take.
Sorry about that.
Sorry about that. Where were we talking
You're gonna
about?
say about
Oh,
Han.
right, Han.
Yes.
Yeah, it's talking about. What was I talking about? What were we talking about?
Well, he used the
Han
lightsaber.
Solo.
Right, thank you,
Use
thank you.
of the lightsaber.
So I don't know the full details on whether or not you need to be a Jedi to, but there is one thing they do touch upon in Solo, which it's not a bad movie. I wouldn't hold in the caliber of these three, but they do touch on that it is quite possible he's heavily influenced by the Force. He just doesn't know it. He calls it luck. He calls it whatever.
That's why he's a good pilot.
Right,
Right?
exactly.
That's why he can fly through the astral.
Yeah,
And-
it's his
and
own
if-
version.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't want to spoil 7, 8, 9 for you, but
Yeah, I'd hold on. to
So
it.
don't.
I'm not going to. But there are some things that happen that kind of they discuss that, kind of solidify that point
Yeah.
a little bit. So yeah, it's funny you say that you catch on that he's clearly something going on.
Well, I mean, if you watch his character growth, you can even kind of see it with the way he interacts with the different Jedis and people, like when he interacts with Obi and like if people like that. Like he's just, I don't know, he just puts that out.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure. Just
you know,
because he's a rebel.
Sure,
doesn't mean
maybe
he's, like,
maybe
opposed.
you're not full on or whatever, and you play like
Mhm.
whatever, you and your silly light sword, but it's not.
Lightsaber.
You're
come
just
on,
putting on
lightsaber.
you're just putting on a show, Han.
Yeah.
Get over it.
That's right.
So
No, he does grow well through the entire series, which is great to see.
I
Even
love
the
his
next 3
character.
afterwards.
I
he's
agree.
still-
I love his character development
he
throughout
does.
those 6 movies.
but I like his ship.
the
I like
Millennium
his ship.
Falcon. Yeah.
Everybody loves
I
the
like
Millennium
his shit.
Falcon.
Everybody loves the Millennium.
Could you do that run in 12 parsecs?
Yeah.
Yes.
You could.
Well,
Okay, good.
no, because a parsec isn't a unit of time; it's a unit of measurement, distance. So no.
All right.
Anyway.
Anyway.
AJ won that one.
So
It's
anyway,
true.
you mentioned the asteroid field. Let's talk about the asteroid.
Yeah, yeah.
Is this the one with the asteroid field with the wormy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Speaking of
Mhm.
Han and the Force, I mean, that type of piloting, like my word. And then to land in some giant worm.
But you think
creature's
he-
Not
mountain.
only a
he would have
crevice, a
maybe
worm.
known
Pardon?
if he had. I guess the Force isn't too strong with him. So
Why would he feel like Anakin didn't know and it was strong with him? Luke didn't know and it was strong with him. So I don't.
Luke wasn't there.
No, I'm just saying you're
Luke-
talking about
Luke
like, how
landed
do
in
you
a
not
worm?
know? No.
When did Luke land in a
Yeah,
worm?
he
Luke
didn't
did
land
land
in
in
a
We're
a
talking
worm
about
with
people landing
Han.
in worms, my friend.
Yeah, yeah.
That was in
I don't really
between
know.
3 and 4.
But then
I
I just thought,
apologize.
like, yeah, maybe he's just not in tune enough to feel a life force.
Yeah.
landing inside a life force, right? He's just
Yeah,
more
they
concerned
were just
with
trying to hide from the
safety
actual
and getting away.
getting
Right.
shot.
Yeah.
Shooting at wing muppets.
So it was adrenaline luck.
It was good timing, in my opinion. They went outside the ship and they realized, wait a minute, we're in the belly of something. And then they got in and they flew out. That seems perfectly reasonable to me.
I feel like he knew that they existed.
It was a
Like he at least knew that those things existed in asteroids.
yeah, he seemed
Like
to have like a
to
knowledge
get out
of it.
That there was
get
a
out of your
hole
ship
there.
and realize that you're in the belly of something when you landed on an asteroid. Like
Yeah.
that's pretty.
That is a
good
valid
guessing.
argument.
Yeah.
Like
And-
I don't think I'd step out of a ship after going through an asteroid field and just guess that I'm in the belly of some worm.
Given the fact of his history of being a smuggler, he's probably ran into situations like
Yeah,
that.
fair
Right?
enough, fair
Yeah,
enough.
I never
So-
thought that actually makes him kind of look bad because then he flew into a tunnel that would have held a worm that he should have known about.
He should have known about that.
Yeah, I've never thought of it that way.
Boy.
Yeah.
I'm going to ignore that for future Dave, though. Just letting you know.
Dave's erased that from his memory. He's never
Yeah.
watched this episode back.
And then the whole coincidence thing again with the garbage chute after they get out of the asteroid and they hide
Oh yeah, and on
In
the,
the-
the Star
the
Destroyers.
Star Destroyer's
Yeah.
garbage chute. Like
Gotcha.
it's gonna like just float away.
yeah.
Just so happens they were dumping the garbage that day.
Well, no,
Well,
that-
it's protocol.
Yeah.
He says why he does it.
Yeah, he
like,
does
he
say
says,
why.
Like it's protocol that they dump their garbage before they go into
Yeah.
hyperdrive or something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, right.
And so he knew they were gonna do that before they took off to go and look for him.
that
but-
part I'm okay with, that he knew that. The thing I find funny, as much as I love this movie, when they dump the garbage, there's big chunks of metal. So that
Yeah.
way they can blend into it. It's like, why would they be dumping big chunks of metal?
No, just
Because
into
they're
space.
creating Death Stars.
True, but I mean, just giant hunks of metal being
Dumped as garbage.
such
That's the
things?
thing that, yeah.
That's a weird
Space
thing.
garbage?
I
Yeah.
mean,
You know. Yeah.
when in space.
Yeah, fair
Are
enough.
there
guess so.
space trash people?
And
You think
why are
there's
there
like
no
a-
like
Yeah.
floating fast food restaurants? in
Yeah, they're
space? I
called
feel
worms
like
on asteroids.
places-
Oh, yeah.
Just eat
Those
your
might eat 'em,
garbage.
That's a whole Space Quest thing, which is a whole other topic I'll add to our list
Yeah,
for
we'll have
people
to
who played
talk about
Sierra
that.
games.
Absolutely, man, I miss Space Quest. That was good times.
Oh,
We're just
God.
talking
That's a
about
whole story.
floating diners.
Yeah, it's just like why does that exist
Like
in these
It's
movies?
Baseballs thing too.
Yeah,
Didn't that
Space
happen at the
Quest.
end of Spaceballs?
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. The Space Quest is the one that pops in my head. Now I'm
That's
going to
the
have to go
one,
play it.
I know. I think I'll.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And while all that's
Anyways.
happening, we meet the green.
we do meet Yoda. Yeah.
We meet the
Ah,
green guy.
Mr. Yoda.
See,
What
I'm,
a puppet!
Yeah, that was
This is
definitely.
so
because of the
difference.
time.
I know.
I'm
I
so
know.
grateful we're having this conversation because, like, I don't want to speak for Dave and AJ, but I'm sure their mentality is similar to mine, where it's like the big moments that happened in 4 and 5, like, are just like every time you're like, whoa, like it's just a huge thing. But you've been prepped, you've been primed by 1, 2, and 3. So it's like a
Yeah.
whole different.
Yeah, a whole different. Like, it's to you, it's a whole costume.
Right.
Even for me, rewatching this one, I didn't have in my memory at all Yoda acting like a little boy,
Oh yeah,
which is what happens at the initial. Like Yoda's acting
Yeah.
randomly eating shit, and I'm like, really? Is this what it is?
And he's
Holy-
kind of a dick too.
well, yeah,
right?
well, I don't mind the dick because that is kind of a Yoda thing to a certain extent. But I'm all like, what the hell? This is not the Yoda I remember. But then, thankfully for me, as soon as his trueness comes to life, where he's Yoda, then it's like he just goes back into that style, that thing I'm expecting, where he's gonna be orderly, follow, do the good, don't fall to your feelings. That I'm like, okay, phew, he's there. But that first start, I'm not gonna lie, I'm like, oh crap, do I have this wrong memory of Yoda in the movies?
It is a weird character thing for him, especially watching 1, 2, and 3, and then watching 4, because you're like, okay, he's fucking with him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he knows R2, right?
Well, yeah.
That's
so
the other
like
thing.
he
Yeah, that
well,
is
and
true, too.
it's Yoda.
They've
Yoda
met
knows
up.
who just landed in his swamp. Like he knew he was coming. Like
For
there's
sure.
no
Yeah.
way he didn't know that. But so I think he was messing with him,
Yeah.
which would be a little it is out of character
Yeah.
in my opinion. But I also think it was kind of his way of sort of testing him a little bit.
It
Yeah.
was. Yeah,
Being like-
I will give.
Be like, do you even know who you're looking for, kid? Like,
Yeah.
Right.
do you understand that this could be different than what you expect?
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure.
That is true.
Well, and the thing is too, I mean, watching 1, 2, 3 first, I mean, that was how 17 years he's been in isolation on Dagobah. Right?
That
so
too.
he's gonna get a little squirrely talking to
That's
ghosts,
true. That's
force
true.
ghosts
Right.
and stuff, and then but you're right.
But
Never
then
thought
he
of it that
levels
way.
out, so that
He
theory kind of goes out
He
the
does.
window really quick.
Eventually, yeah, exactly, because he becomes
It's like all of a
that Yoda
sudden
He
you
becomes
just
Yoda.
snap
Yeah.
out of it.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
mean, the force is strong with that one, but I don't know if it's that strong.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's,
with
what,
Yoda?
800 years old.
he's like this. Yeah,
He's like
I think people consider him the strongest Jedi.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'd be an interesting
That's a
conversation.
that's
Up
a Star Wars
up
conversation
to up to that
Ah.
point in the series. Yes. Like if we're thinking like up to number 5, like if
Mhm.
we watch
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, he is one of the strongest Jedis. But you don't really get to see like in 1, 2, and 3 the other Jedi Council. You don't really get to see their full potential or
That's
their
true.
powers because they're just not talked
They
about
just
much.
sit there
Like
to keep
even
the chairs
Samuel
warm.
L. Jackson, you're like, okay, yeah, he's a cool, powerful Jedi. He's on the Council, but like you don't get to see his power.
It's true. They
Well, but he's
talk a lot about their
but-
power.
But Yoda's
Yeah.
always all crotch, old, walking with a cane, and then
Yeah.
give him a lightsaber, and it's a totally different.
Right. So
story.
imagine what the other council members are like. They're not crotchety and falling apart.
Yeah.
So
That's a
are
good
they
point.
are they in their prime or were they in their
They
prime?
were in their prime, but they were
And-
caught
and,
off
like,
guard.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So like were
Hmm.
they more powerful than Yoda? Okay, this is a
For sure.
whole other episode, I'm sure.
One sideline question: how could the greatest Jedi minds of all time be collected and are planning out the world, and they could not predict Order 66? I just
that
well, that's a whole other.
I would say that was a last
I know,
episode
I know. I was just
question.
like,
You're
well,
getting
I'm
a
like,
little.
just Jedi
Does,
episode.
do
I
all
think is
Yeah.
Jedi
what
have
has
the
to happen.
same powers, though?
Well, the Force is
No.
the Force. Is
The
it
Force
not?
is
The Force, but it's not that they all have the same powers. They are
But
all
it's how
susceptible
you
to the same
use it.
learning of the Force, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you have different ways to.
Jedi
You-
don't have powers other than manipulation, slight pushes, things of this nature. Those are Jedi-ish powers. The dark get the good.
Well, there's
powers.
the foresight, right? Yoda was able
Yeah.
to.
Force is one of them.
At least
Yeah.
that's the only one we
No,
really
yeah,
saw.
that is. Yeah,
Yoda
I forgot about that
was
one
able
myself.
To kind of
Yeah,
see into the future, if
yeah,
you will.
to a certain extent.
So is
Yeah.
Anakin.
That was one of.
Oh, I
Anakin's
guess,
big
yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
That's why he had all the dreams.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
in
Okay.
front of his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But so does Luke. Luke
That's
has
true, yeah.
Luke has visions when he's his first
As
visions are when
training.
he's training with Yoda and
Yeah.
he sees Han, Leia, and everybody in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. They just
And
didn't
that's
give
why
you
he-
a- they
and
just
that's
didn't
why
give you
he
an
ends.
actual
Picture of it.
scene of it.
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
anything,
they don't like do a flash of it
Yeah.
because it's
So, what were your thoughts, Nikki, on some of the characters and scenes of Empire? Were you-
well, Lando was kind of interesting because we meet Lando in this one too. I guess that's really the only that and the big duel. I guess are the only other two big things to talk about for this episode is
Well,
the right
Han
word to
gets
say.
frozen
But
Yeah.
too,
yeah, but that happens with like
and we realize that Leia and Han are truly in love.
That's probably one of my favorite lines in a movie.
okay,
When she
That-
says "I love you" and he just says, "I know."
Yeah.
I know.
That's just a Han Solo thing to say, right?
Yeah.
I know.
So pure hands off.
I know. Love it.
So, you're a Lando fan?
Yeah. I don't know. Like I think he's kind of a selfish guy.
Oh,
For
yeah.
sure. Like it's
1000%.
it's like yeah, I want to be helpful, but my ass is more important than yours ever could be. And it's like, well, is it you or the greater good here? Like, are you fighting with all of us, or are you in it just to survive? And I think he's in it just to survive in the beginning.
Yes.
Sure.
I know his character grows in the
Yes.
next, like, throughout and whatnot, but in this particular city, Cloud City or whatever the hell
Yeah.
it's called.
Cloud City's right. Yeah.
Cloud
Yeah.
City is
That's
right.
Okay. Sorry,
No one
I
knows.
love it. It's just the most like normal sounding thing in the whole series. Because
True.
I can remember it and say it properly. So yeah, he was kind of just, like, but I also got where he's coming from. Like, I mean, if Darth Vader was standing at my doorstep, I'd probably get a little selfish too, maybe. Like,
Do you
I
think
can't
part of
say
him did it just a little bit because he lost the ship to Han?
I
Just
don't
a
think
little
so.
bit
I
of
don't.
him was like,
No,
so.
I don't think so.
no,
I-
because
No?
it wasn't just Han that
he wasn't that
screwed over.
malevolent about it.
No, because here's the thing. Like right off the hop, they're, I know, yeah, okay, Lando knew he was gonna screw them, but they're joking in a camaraderie that's clearly built over time. So
Mhm.
I don't think, like, something tells me, and I know they kind of they do a good job kind of displaying it in Solo, but something tells me that ship's probably gone back and forth between the two of them a few times at this point.
Hmm.
It just
Okay,
was
yeah.
like Han that got it at you know what I mean? And Lando was
They've,
just like,
they've played a few games,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
And I think in
Lando's got
this
it
one,
back and, yeah.
Lando was not just looking for himself, but for his entire like thing.
Yeah,
Like, this
that's
was
Cloud
to protect
City.
the
The
people.
mayor.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
running Cloud City, right?
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
he's trying to protect the people that are part of this city.
yeah.
That is true. So,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. That's why it's like it's hard to see what corner he was backed into,
Yeah.
right? Like, so yes, he may have been a little selfish in certain ways, but it was the selfishness to save other people.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't because he didn't want to save his friend. It's because it's one life versus thousands
Right.
potentially.
Yeah.
And it's nice that he had the redemption arc in the end there, where he's, you know,
Right, and then I mean, you can even go like in episode 6. There's even more redemption stuff with
Oh yeah,
between
he
the
gets
two
in
of
That's
there.
true.
between
Oh,
the
yeah.
two of
Yeah.
them, where you can see, like you were just saying, like their relationship goes well beyond
Yeah.
just some little
Because I guess
spat
he wouldn't
about the
really.
ship
He,
because
he wouldn't put himself through that bullshit to save him. And
no,
yeah,
no.
he's,
So-
yeah, it's kind of cool.
But I mean, overall, I guess like Luke's character grows again, but like not in a way that was unexpected. Like I expected after 4 for number 5 for Luke to be a strong character. Like I
Mhm.
didn't like if he was a weakling and whatever, then I would have been like, well, that's kind of lame.
Yeah.
So I was glad that they did what I expected,
Mhm.
following the other movies. But yeah, I don't know.
My favorite thing about Luke's arc in 5 is even when he's like he meets Yoda and not, he's got this kind of smugness. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna be a Jedi. Yeah. And then all the harsh realities hit him like at the end of the movie, and it's like, nah, bitch.
Right.
You
it's
don't
gonna
know
take some
nothing.
work, fool.
That's
Yeah.
right. And it's like, and then like his whole world crashes in on him, and then he's got to deal with it. And they kind of give you the only thing that's kind of weird about 5 is like the very end. It's kind of got this like, everything's gonna be okay, shucks sort of thing. And it's like, well, it would could have been nicer. Well,
You
with the
think about
whole,
it that
I
way.
think all 3 of them ended that way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to
And he
me
gets a
too.
robot
was-
hand.
Yeah.
Pardon?
all-
And he gets a robot hand.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
but he gets
yeah.
the robot
Like
hand.
his
To me, too, the ending of that one was very much, we at least are all here together. We survived.
Mhm.
What are we going to do next?
that's fair.
That's more how
Yeah.
I take the end of it.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
keep calling it 2, which is, we all know it's
2,
not.
4,
It's
2 to
7.
us. It's 2 to us. Number 1 to me.
But either way, like to me, that's more how this one ends. It's very much just that's, okay, we've all learned a lesson. And I say all except for Han, because he, of course, has been
He-
frozen.
Yeah, he did
Well,
not
he's
learn a
learned
lesson.
No.
Well,
some kind of lesson.
And that's yeah. And like for characters, I do like that. I love the Chewie and C-3PO interactions
Oh,
in
yes.
Cloud City.
They're great.
And like him like trying to put them back together
Yeah.
and then wearing him as a backpack, and C-3PO is just so bitchy the whole time, but he should be grateful.
Yeah.
Like
My head on
I
backwards.
saved you, robot. What
Yeah.
what does it matter? Like my buddy's getting frozen in carbonite, you're telling me to turn you around? Shut up.
Right. Chewie has so much character in
He
all of
does.
his experience. Like every time you see him, you're like, oh yeah.
For-
Like, you might not understand what he's saying, but you buy in.
But you
that's
do.
weird.
Yeah.
For a character where you don't understand what he's saying,
Yeah.
you definitely
He does it pretty good.
Yeah.
you
Both I
definitely
think both
understand
him and
what's going
R2 are well represented that way. Like they're given
I love
such
them.
personality, right? Yeah.
Agreed.
The characters that don't have actual voices are my favorite. I think. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's
like,
that's
wait
cool.
till we get to the next one.
For sure. Well, speaking
But-
of, did you want to wrap up any points about episode 5? Or do you
Oh
wanna-
yeah, let's talk about the battle
Oh, yeah. we could talk
between
about that.
father and son for a second.
For sure.
Sorry, I'm getting loud as well, so I keep backing up from my microphone. So I'm sorry.
It's your podcast. Like, you can be loud as you want.
It's my podcast. But yeah, so this is when you do the whole "No, I am your father."
Yep.
It's not Luke. I am your father. Okay. See, I'm sorry. That's my only.
That's
rant.
gonna bother you from now on.
It's
right?
gonna bother me every time I hear someone say it. Every time I see it in a meme, it's gonna drive me crazy. I'm gonna be that troll on the internet. That's not what it says. That's the one thing I take from this entire experience is that people are doing it wrong. But I mean, it's pretty cool, especially when you consider the time they made that whole scene. Like, I know the lightsabers are a bit better in 1, 2, and 3, but like in that scene is kind of really cool. It also, to me, kind of shows Luke in a little bit of an angry child kind of light, somewhat, because he kind of just lets loose a little bit, and he doesn't just.
Yep.
He doesn't seem as calm and collected as he did
Right.
the first 3/4 of the movie.
Yep.
Right. So like all of a sudden he's just this crazy emotional person, and then
Understandably so.
right.
Sure.
So
It's gone through some shit.
Yeah.
but then
And then finds out he's his father.
I thought it was really cool because of the whole, like when he was hanging, because that's when it ends with Luke like hanging from the
Yeah,
ship
like
or
it's like an
whatever,
antenna.
right?
Yeah.
And
bottom
he
of
tries
Cloud
calling
City.
Obi, who he already knew wasn't going to help him because
Correct.
Obi told him when he left Yoda, like, if you leave, you're on your own, dude. Like, I'm
Force
not-
Ghost ain't helping you.
yeah, we
Yeah.
ain't helping you, bud. Like,
Yeah.
my ghost ain't coming to talk to you through this. Like,
We don't have
Not-
that kind of
not like we can-
distance, that kind of range.
I can't do it anyway, man. I'm just
Yeah.
a ghost,
Let's
Yeah.
go. We went do, man. I got no force powers. I'll
right?
just,
What do you
project
want me to do?
myself
I'm a
you.
ghost. I'm dead.
I
But
give him no respect.
The fact that he was able to get Leia to kind of have that
Mhm.
force gave you that kind of like, oh, cool.
Oh yeah.
Wish they played with that more. I do, and just
Totally
I know
off
what look
topic.
he's giving me, and I'm sure there's something, but
If you ever get a chance, go play an old PlayStation 1 game called Masters of Terrascasi. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Well, also, if you ever get the chance, they actually do a lot of good novels where they start to highlight her force and everything. But
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not uncommon or
Yeah.
unknown.
I like books,
Yeah.
so
that's true. That's
so
true.
many
like
good
books.
Star Wars
There
books.
are a
That was-
few that land in between some of these episodes.
Oh
too,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
definitely.
Before you
That'd be
start
really
to get
cool.
into-
Unfortunately, many of them I don't think are considered canon anymore since Disney.
Yeah, I think quite a
owns
few
everything.
of them are.
No, yeah.
but
different.
they're still great to.
So would that be considered fan fiction, or,
I don't know.
or is that
Probably.
completely? See, that's why I asked, because
That's a
I don't
great question.
know.
A whole other episode has
I
begun.
think- I mean,
Is that a whole other?
wait, does it count as fan fiction if you got paid to write it? I don't know. That's a great question.
Yeah, I don't
How do
know.
you get paid? I
Ben,
forget
did
the
you get
author's
paid
name.
before or
I
after?
have
Which
to
one?
look it up.
The Shadow Empire. Which one are you thinking of?
The one that did the books after, number
Yeah.
6 and everything.
Depends if you
Yeah,
wrote it.
Return.
Did you write it before or after you got paid?
Oh, they would have. The
I
books
have
we're
no
talking
idea.
about, they were published, so they got
Yeah.
paid, and they were all sanctioned by
At
George
the
Lucas.
time. It was a
at the
whole
time.
other time.
Yeah, but then
It was-
Disney bought up and like, yeah, we got to streamline things, so we're
well,
gonna have
this
to
is
cut all
way
this stuff
before all
out.
that. Anyway.
They cut a lot of crap out.
That's what Disney does. What's going on?
Well, yeah, the stories have to be played. with.
Shadow
Like,
of the
let's be honest.
Shadow of the
Like, I'm
Empire.
not even
wasn't
gonna go
that
down the path
N64
of-
game.
All the crap.
Yeah, but it was also based off a book.
Oh, so yeah,
That's- yeah,
I knew
Shadow
it was.
of the
A
Empire
I knew it
was-
was a Vigi game.
Yeah, it's a good, great game, but a great book. And was Mara Jaden? And it was
Not
okay.
too
I'm
keen
way
on
off
them
topic.
reading
Yeah.
books.
Now we're down the hole.
No, this is so easy. All right, so 5, our favorite movie, not Nikki's, but you enjoyed many parts of it, just not all of it.
If I think
It,
if she says what I think she might say, then we might have issues. if the next
Well,
movie here.
let's
Okay,
go
so
into the
do
next.
I want a divorce or not?
I don't know. Did you like the Ewoks or not?
I have to be
Um,
honest on that one, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
For number 5 in general, it was I liked it better than I liked number 4 because I feel like you got more development with some of the characters. And I liked watching Solo's character develop, I think, even more than I liked Luke's, because I was like, yeah, we knew Luke was going to go and get the Force training and stuff like that. That, to me, I expected to see that happen in the story. So to have the other things that weren't necessarily expected, like I didn't really expect Solo to stay around.
Right.
Like when you're first watching number 5 and you're there in Hoth, you're like, okay, well, yeah, he's going to save his buddy, then he's gone. Like I'm sure he's gone after that. If Luke wasn't out there in the freezing, would he have stayed in the first place? Or would he have left before they weren't allowed to leave anymore that night? So I'm glad that I got to watch that story kind of build. I mean, yeah, he gets frozen in a cocky manner at the least. The whole, I know.
I love it.
I love it.
But, I mean, yeah.
For sure. Well, let's move on to 6 because we could literally talk about these movies all day. So we got to keep on some sort of time frame. So, episode 6, Return of the Jedi.
Opens with Jabba's palace, correct?
It does open with Jabba's palace, and
the
Luke is
C-3PO and everybody walking up to the door, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, and Luke is in Jedi Knight mode.
Little eyeball.
At this point.
Yeah, the eyeball thing. That is always fun.
I know. It felt like it was recycled from the garbage monster from 4, but I don't think it is. Don't they look kind of like the same? No? All right, okay.
Well, Vader demands that the Death Star get finished in time first, and then we go to that scene.
Death Star Part 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
The second
2.0.
2.0.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Numero 2.
Death Star Plus, since Disney's got a hold of it now, right? Disney Plus, Death Star Plus.
Oh, gotcha.
The whole 2.0 has been phased out.
This is true.
It's 2021 now.
Death
We're
Star
bringing
Plus.
you Death Star 2.0 with more streamlined planet killing.
They try.
That's 2Y2K.
Jumping ahead.
I love Return of the Jedi. It's definitely it's a great film. I can see why many people think it's like a toy commercial and stuff, but for me, it was fun. It was great. And
Because I got the toys. Sure.
Collector of toys, right? But I thought, I don't know, I never felt cheated watching it. I thought it was a really great end to the 4, 5, and 6.
Oh, yeah.
And I love Luke's arc in it, the whole thing with whatever.
I always felt that there was something missing. I
Okay.
can't tell you what. I can't put my finger on it. But between 5 and 6, I just felt like there was. It was almost like they weren't trying as hard, or I don't know.
Really?
Again, can't put my finger on it.
Do you think they needed more Muppets?
More Muppets. Maybe it was too many Muppets. I don't know.
So 6 was definitely the first I ever saw. Like that's my first memory ever. And the thing that I'm bringing up once again, once in every movie, is this one. Why the F did they change the music? But at any rate, I'll move past it.
Oh, great call, dude.
At the end, are we speaking?
Yeah, for
they
the freaking
changed it in the bar with Jabba. That's the wrong song.
Yeah, right.
And then they changed it at the end, which had a rump, rump, ram, rump, rump, dun, 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 dun. Anyway, totally off topic. Apologies. I'll move on.
The re-release was changed?
Yeah.
It messed with all the music.
And it just doesn't make sense as, like, why would you do that? Like,
that seems weird.
The whole giant party scene.
Trust me, like,
city sort of,
so many weird changes, but
anyway,
whatever. It is what it is.
Sorry,
we don't make movies professionally. We just talk about
See,
them.
I forgot about the whole Jabba's bar thing.
Music copyrights or something, maybe.
Who knows? It's never
With the crazy thing with the lips.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
That was weird.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
That was
very weird.
It was
so,
weird.
Nikki,
Sorry.
Other than
love how
that was weird. What did you
We've
think?
spoken for the last
you're
10
the
minutes.
one with the notes. Ours are all in our head. So please
It helps.
lead us on what you're
helps.
thinking about episode 6 here.
No, it helps. You guys talking obviously helps me kind of discuss it with you guys because your favorite parts are great to rip apart.
Got us one, don't you?
Who invited this one?
Let's do a My Wife Reacts episode, he said. It'll be great,
Okay,
he said.
you said.
Just kidding.
I think it's kind of cool. I thought it was hilarious that Luke gave the droids to Jabba.
Oh, yeah.
And C-3PO, what? That's gotta be an old message.
Like you didn't know, right?
Yeah. R2 knew the entire time.
He knew.
He had the saber.
Right.
He
Oh,
knew
yeah.
the plan.
Yeah.
He knows.
Don't
He
tell
knew.
C-3PO nothing.
That's what I'm saying.
C-3PO will
R2's
ruin
key
the
through this
plan.
whole thing.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder though, like really, what good is C-3PO other than for translating shit? Like outside of that,
Complaining, pointing out the obvious.
Yeah.
That's for sure. He's kind of useless.
Getting stuff.
no,
doesn't he
doesn't
ever
he-
get stuff?
Doesn't he help with the hyperdrive thing in number
right.
5?
Yeah.
He also helps in return. He gets some of the stormtroopers to run after him and stuff.
Okay, I stand corrected. Okay,
Yeah,
he
he has
has some
moments.
moments.
He's a
He has some
target.
moments.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
he has
sure.
moments.
For sure. All right.
And without him, how would we know what Jabba says in this episode?
That's
Oh,
Except for the
that's true.
times where randomly
It's
it
true.
doesn't give you any subtitles, and you're like, okay,
yeah.
is that not important? Why am I hearing it
Yeah.
then?
I don't know all these space languages that are made up.
It was Jabba being dirty.
And as
Disney took it out.
Yeah.
as I was noting before we got started, I re-listened to these episodes recently so that I could just hear them and refresh my memory. So I'm listening while I'm doing work, and all of a sudden Jabba starts talking, and I'm like, oh crap, I have no idea what he's saying because I'm not looking at the screen at all. So all I have are the few times that C-3PO actually
Translates
translates,
for him.
or when other people are just talking back to him and you just kind of fill in the blanks and
Yeah.
you hope for the best.
See, I think C-3PO is for the audience. I really do. I think that's like who
he's kind of like a
for.
comedic kind
Yeah.
of
Oh
way.
yeah, he does.
Because
have
like
an
you, like
accent.
great point. Like if you're missing some part, getting it like, oh, I suppose he getting this, and then C-3PO comes in. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I can relate to the
Mhm.
funny robot.
He does a lot of the points out
funny
the
robot,
obvious
man.
stuff too, right? Like, don't do that. That's dangerous.
Yeah,
And you're
yes.
like, well, yeah, that's we're fighting a war.
Yeah, we're part of the
like-
rebel team.
It's great, and that's a precedent that these movies set up for like all Star Wars properties. Is these droids or robots that are like concerned about safety and emotion and stuff like that. It's like
Mhm.
you're fucking robots. Like,
you're a robot.
That's what he's
Like,
programmed to be.
care?
And we have
Exactly.
to give him a bit of understanding. He was just chopped up into multiple pieces. Like, let's
Yeah.
give him a
That's
little
true.
bit of.
He's a little weary, right?
a little apprehensive.
If I had just been chopped up to a bunch of pieces, put back together, I'd be a little slow.
Yes, I
Take
can
it
just sit and
easy.
chill.
And I'd be a little hesitant about
Yeah.
being given off to Jabba the
I
Hutt.
would be.
Like,
Wait,
a little bit.
I know what they did on the other
But-
planet. What's this guy gonna do?
Like-
He's eating me.
I
He's
mean, I
clearly eating
don't
me.
that's it.
Yeah.
Like, he's gonna put me inside of him so I can just talk out him, and people will just understand
He's
him.
stealing my voice box.
This is taking a weird turn. This is taking a weird turn.
They're
my
remaking Mermaid.
I want that character. I want that character.
Big ugly slug talking like a British butler man.
I don't want that.
Very-
Oh my god.
Uh,
All right. Okay.
So then
Look
Luke. Luke shows up.
But no, he doesn't show up until after Leia already tried and gets caught.
That's right.
Yeah,
Well,
that's true.
listen.
Because she tries to come in with Chewie as this like prize for Jabba, and then they both, and then she gets him out of carbonite, but then they both get caught anyway, and then she's turned into some whore on his stoop.
Well, it wasn't her fault. I mean, it was all our teenage fantasies' fault that happened.
Whore on a stoop. That's good.
But good point. That's a really good point. Oh,
Well,
you
'cause
fucked
then-
up, Leia. Oh,
Right?
maybe
Because
go
then
back to
Luke has to
princessing.
come in, and even then, they're still fighting off this battle, and then you get the guy that raised the beast crying at the end, and I'm like, what is happening?
I can
The
understand the
Rancor's
crying
buddy
for
or
the
whatever?
beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, why am I watching this? Like,
Because we have to realize that while there was a battle, unfortunately, the beast was murdered.
Because
Okay.
somebody cared for him.
Yes. There's
then-
always
and then-
somebody
Someone's got to
caring
care for the
some-
beast.
how did Lando show back up again? I forget.
Oh, he was
he's
there.
He was.
when-
He came
Yeah.
in with.
with
With
Luke
Leia.
or Leia.
No.
No.
No, he
He
comes
was
in
there
later
first.
on the.
He was in there like from opening shot. He had been hanging out for
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah, he
That's
was-
my memory.
That's from
He was just kind of a
He was
hunter
hanging in the
around
background. Yeah,
and
yeah,
just
yeah.
being
He's
there?
hanging in the
Okay.
background.
Because I was like, where the heck did he come from? And now he's fallen into this pit with everybody. Well,
I was gonna say he
This
doesn't
was-
reveal
and all
himself
Luke
until
keeps
the
saying
Rancor
is,
pit, right?
Yeah.
don't do it.
Well, this was
Don't
staged.
do it.
What they're trying to show you is this was staged by them well before they showed up there, and they had like, I mean, from what looks like a 3-stage attack.
Right?
plan.
Like,
But
Leia, go
obviously-
in and screw up, and then I'm going to come in and screw up, and then we'll
No.
both just fix it at the end. and
No,
it'll be
then we'll
fine.
all screw up, and then we'll all go on this barge, and miraculously we'll get out of it.
But they don't all go on this barge, because Leia's actually the one that kills Jabba.
Yes.
Yeah,
True.
Leia's
because she
still
takes
in,
her chain and strangles the
him
subject.
when
And
everything's
I'm sorry,
going
that is
out.
the most
Yeah.
twisted scene in the world.
That's
Yeah.
As he's doing that and she's just yanking on him.
straight
Oh,
murder.
I want to
Straight murder.
again give R2 some cred. He had some distance on that throwing arm when he
Sure.
when he tossed the
Shot up
The
through his head.
lightsaber, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
that
the lightsaber was
impressive.
rocket propelled.
get some
Yeah,
distance.
that was a good one. It was a good one.
That's right.
Was it rocket propelled though?
Yeah, I think it was
thinking
more like
maybe
an
more
air
like
pressure.
nitrous or
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
like a
That's some distance, man.
piston or hydraulics. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I never actually thought of that. You bring up that way that like this could not have been a plan out. This was that one didn't work. Okay, next step. Oh, that didn't work. Well, here we are.
It didn't it feel like that? It's like
I've
imagine the
never-
planning stages before the scene. It's like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. Okay, here, everybody. Okay, we gotta save Han. So, okay, Lando, you're gonna go in as a bounty hunter, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna just hang out, and kind of survey the situation, let them know what's happening. Okay, but don't get caught. Okay, won't get caught. Okay, what we're gonna do, we're gonna send Leia in.
Nope, the
Oh,
droids.
so the droid's in.
Yeah,
with,
droids
with the
first.
holographic
sorry.
message.
My
Yeah.
bad. With
Yep.
as a way, and if he doesn't bite, which obviously why would he? Then
Yeah.
we got another plan.
Yeah, which is Leia. You show up, do this in the night, get away with it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And then if you fuck up, well, we got one more
Yeah.
idea. We'll have Luke,
Show
which
up.
let's be honest, he just should have done that in the first place.
Right?
And then Luke, if you get caught,
We'll just figure it out from there.
we'll figure it
Yeah.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
It turns
You're
into a
not
wing
gonna
it,
get caught.
a
You're
wing
Luke.
it situation.
you're a Jedi Master, son. Like,
Yeah.
come on, or Jedi Knight. Sorry, he's not a master at this point.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I don't even think it's no. I think at this point he's still not actually considered a knight. He hasn't gone back yet.
Yeah, he's not considered a true Jedi until the end of this one,
yeah, but
technically.
that's mastery, isn't it? I thought he was a knight at that point.
Not
No.
officially, I do not
Okay.
believe. My
Okay,
perception is similar, where no, he's not.
All right.
Because he hasn't
He hadn't
gone at
completed
this
his
point
training.
in this movie. He
Right.
hasn't gone back to see Yoda yet.
And
Okay.
even Yoda says, not until you've done.
So I guess
Yeah,
moral
yeah,
of the
yeah.
story is maybe we shouldn't trust a Jedi until he's had all his training.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
the story.
Even then, we have, again, now we're jumping around, but we see screw ups all over the place. Like,
That's
Uh,
true. That's
the
true.
Jedi.
I don't think
are
anybody's still
human.
training Sidious, and I don't think we should trust him.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Good
Yeah.
point. So episode 6, very interesting intro.
Extremely interesting.
Extremely. Definitely the most like wildest. Like everything like we just talked about is it feels like it was piecemealed, but it clearly.
For me, it's not until we getting into the whole Ewok final scenes. That to me is more all over the place. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I do. It's not my favorite, sure, but I still enjoy it. Like, and again, I like Ewoks. I'm
Yeah.
fine with Ewoks.
Me too.
This one makes me feel like he didn't know he was going to do 7, 8, 9 because I feel like he put a lot of stories into this one. Like there's just like he wrote so much for the Jabba scenes in the beginning and then so much for leading up to learning who the Ewoks were and getting captured by them and doing this and doing like there's just so much to this one in comparison to the other two.
I just think too many Ewoks. Too much Ewoks.
What? It's a planet full of them. Our moon full
Yeah.
of them.
Actually, that's a good point. It is a moon, isn't it?
It is.
Mhm.
The moon of Endor, yeah.
Yeah, I
So
never thought of that. Yeah.
I guess it did kind of feel like too many,
I don't know about too many as in like,
but like
but just
Overall. Yeah.
too focused on
yeah.
Ewoks.
If we're getting into that, my biggest challenge was so they get into. I know we're jumping around. Apologies, but they
That's
get into the whole
okay.
thing, taking the shield down, and they get into the building, easy peasy. But then they get captured because, oops, hey, it was a trick. And so the Ewoks come to save the day, like high fives around. Wait a minute, the Ewoks had previously tied up logs and trees, had all these traps set up around, everything ready to go. What?
almost like it was ready for a play set.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's a little true. That's
Executive
It's true.
producer
It was
Kenner.
very
yeah.
coincidental type of situation,
Yeah,
right? Where it's
absolutely.
like, so you happen to land on this moon where they
Yep.
happen to be building this thing, where they happen to have this native tribe of
yeah.
teddy bears.
I would have bought it if it was
Building
Kashyyyk.
shit.
Yeah. Well, I wonder, and I don't know the details on this, but I wonder if that's what they wanted to do, but they couldn't. To do Kashyyyk with the
The
Wookiee
Chewbacca planet. Wookiee planet.
Oh, gotcha. Because
I would have
was
bought it a little more if it was a
But
Wookiees.
I wonder if that's what they wanted to do, but because of budget or whatever, they couldn't do that. And so,
Imagine how much that one suit costs.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
At that point in time.
I don't know, all of those Ewok costumes though.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that was probably
yeah.
still a pretty
Yeah,
big
true.
penny.
No, they were
Like
still
you
out
gotta
there.
think that's a lot. And like
The Ewok
Yeah,
cartoon.
just-
Cartoon.
Oh
For
yeah,
those
that's
that
true.
are this old. Like, come on.
I'm sure they
remember
suck,
that
but I
one.
love those
And
shows.
Droids.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
and
droids.
Droids.
Droids
Yeah.
cartoon.
I actually had no memory of droids until I went YouTubing for fun. It was the Ewok cartoon that I remembered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that more, but I definitely remember the droids.
They had
cartoon.
movies too. Did
Yeah,
they
yeah.
not have spin-off Ewok movies?
I think
There was one,
something.
Ewoks Battle
Yeah.
of Endor or some
Think
shit.
so,
And
yeah.
then there was another one.
Yeah.
I don't think I've watched it though.
I've not.
I remember seeing it on the televisions once. I think.
Yeah, I have
How'd that
not
go?
seen.
I don't remember.
I
I
have
just
no memory
remember
of that.
like, or in like the video store. I almost like I remember the box on the shelf.
Nice.
Hmm.
I don't think I ever actually watched it
Right.
like consciously.
Maybe we should do that. We should go watch it all of.
I don't think we
Listen,
should do that.
unfortunately,
With-
it's not a Star Wars podcast all the time.
with the Ewoks, did we really need the whole like capturing the whole squad thing? Like Leia meets one, right?
Gotcha.
Like so
Yeah,
she meets
wicked.
one and interacts with it, which makes like it just makes sense for her character, I guess, because she's the sweet face of the group, right?
Well, and
Like
she
it would be
yeah.
weird if it was Solo that did the first interaction with
Yeah,
them. Like
yeah.
it wouldn't have been as
And she
nice
was
and
nice to
accepting, right?
him
Like
and- yeah.
Solo wouldn't have gotten accepted
Yeah.
by this thing. It would have
No.
mauled him to death, which would have been a good movie. But so I get that trust aspect, but
Right.
like where, and maybe I'm just not remembering the movie properly, but where the hell did everybody else go?
They were out searching for her, came across that bundle of meat, and got captured by the Ewoks.
Right.
Right.
And then they were gonna eat them.
Yep.
So she was already with them when they were out and they captured it. But like,
No.
did we have to?
She was at the Ewok village.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did we have to do that whole thing though? Like, did it have to be such a drawn out thing with like C-3PO being this king and this god? Like, did it
Yes.
have to be
Yes,
this
it did.
big thing, or could
I
they have
think it
just
did.
done
Great
like
question.
she met them, interacted? Like, why did it have to be like she was already accepted by them?
You mean why did they?
Why
not
did they have to get trapped?
radios when they had spaceships and lasers?
Shit.
We don't
That's
need
a good
radios.
point. That's a good point. But like I'm just thinking in
And
general,
forced
like she's
communication?
already communicated with them.
Well,
and
because
created trust.
they didn't know that the Ewoks didn't know that she was with them.
But why did they have to get caught by their net? Why couldn't they have just found her?
Oh, because she had gone to the.
'Cause she was
Ewok
at the
village.
Ewok
She wasn't
village.
in the right area.
I think
That one I'll give.
You're
to the
asking
story.
plot wise. Is that what you're asking?
I think so.
Yeah. So if you're asking that,
Because then no more movie.
well, sure.
Like I'm just thinking, take away the captured aspect in this whole like.
So they just
Luke-
show up at the Ewok
Luke,
village and they're
It's
like,
because you want
"Hi,
to show
Leia."
off Luke using his powers for C-3PO's power. Like what?
I think they wanted
What's
a
the
comedic
point?
scene.
I think so. I think ultimately they were hoping to show this planet as kind of like a random sort of a planet to show how it's being affected by the galactic war that's going on. And I also think because the film ends there, they had to build that some way. And I know Lucas wanted to make them a bunch of savages. That was kind of what they were trying to go for in the beginning of it. So that's why they showed that. And they're kind of like these old, stupid ancient spiritual believers and think that, C-3PO was their god. And
Well, they only
just
saw that because he got
Because he's
floated
golden.
through the force and all that. But
Yeah.
also known as sake of convenience. I'm gonna go with this.
Yeah,
it's
theme oriented.
yeah, it's the
sure.
story. Because again, the entire thing, which is one of those things, part of us being, I don't know, part of this generation. We even
Yeah.
see this, in my opinion, 7, 8, 9. Things like a walkie-talkie.
I know. It's the simplest communication device.
Yeah,
You
like
have these giant
I'll ignore
intergalactic
I'll
traveling
They
ignore
had them in
cell
1,
phone.
2, 3.
too.
Yeah,
They had
that's
the
what I mean.
little
Yeah, like
lady bit communicator
yeah,
thing.
there's like that's all that everybody gets issued a walkie-talkie.
Maybe after 3, the
I'm
Empire
sorry.
says no personal communicators anymore.
Yeah.
They destroy them in the galaxy.
Yeah, because when they're in the trash compactor, they're using the one
The walk-
in the trans.
Actually,
in
you're a
the
good
point. They're
compactor.
using-
It's not the little one anymore. They're using the actual ship,
Yeah.
which makes
But,
no sense
um,
other than convenience.
R2, 3PO they had communicators at one point.
Yes, we do.
They
see
gave
those.
3PO a communicator when they
like-
left.
Yeah, it goes in and out of the story. Because
Yeah.
again, in my opinion, that's what I love about this entire
It's
thing.
convenient.
Yeah.
It works.
It depends on when it. Yeah, if it would work for them, but it doesn't work for the story, they don't have them.
Right. Because it would have
Like
actually
trying
been
to find
better.
Leia on a
Maybe they
moon.
didn't have any service on Endor.
You know what?
I made
Actually,
a
I'm going to go
wild
with
side.
that.
Maybe that was the
Sure.
problem
That's
because
what
of
it
the
is.
trees.
The laser guns work,
For sure.
but no service for a walkie.
Well, yeah, the laser guns don't work
the
off of cell.
blasters.
Blasters.
The blast.
They don't work off of cell towers.
All right, so we're coming up on an hour of talking. Maybe I think we're over that
All
now.
about this.
So let's.
But there's okay.
keep
Hold on
on
though.
point
Hold
with
on.
six.
There's
Yes,
still
we
a lot
definitely
on
got
this one.
Absolutely. We're not done. I just want to keep everyone on track here because we are heavily distracted. Welcome to Sarcastic Distractions.
Hey, the last one we went for almost 2 hours, I think.
You are correct.
Yeah,
So
something like that.
I think
correct.
when they've already listened to the other one. At
They
this
should know what
point.
they're getting themselves
So
into.
they know
Yes.
if I'm on here, chances are.
If you're gonna sit down
she's
and watch
talking.
a Star Wars
Chances are-
movie, expect 3 hours.
That's
If you're gonna listen to
Right.
the Star Wars episode, expect 3 hours.
Right, when it comes to Star
Okay,
Wars,
maybe
we,
not
don't,
3 hours.
we don't half-ass Star Wars. okay?
Can't.
We can't.
I can't.
Be serious.
Isn't there a radio Star Wars thing?
I think there was.
I think there was too.
Yeah.
Sorry, way off topic. Continue.
Anyways, so yeah, there's that whole Endor visit. I'll call it for now.
Mm-hmm.
But and then we get to kind of really see the Emperor kind of comes into this one a
Yes,
lot,
he does.
obviously.
Yes, he
does.
More so in the end, and I want to get into that, but I don't want to get into that till we talk about that actual fight. But so Luke just kind of screws off on everybody
Mhm.
to go back to why does he never tell anybody when he's going back to Dagobah?
Doesn't he?
He does. He
tell
talks to
Leia?
Leia. He tells Leia.
Does he tell
Leia.
her? Okay.
Yeah, he
Isn't
does
that
tell
the
Leia.
scene where
They have a moment.
I
Yeah.
got something to tell you, but I can't really tell you.
I'll tell you later.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's
So-
all like, "Why? I made out with you."
So
Yeah,
they
tell
send
me.
him.
No,
here's-
he tells her at that moment that they're brother sister.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
Because they go out,
Yeah.
they go
I was
outside.
thinking.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. They
They
don't
go outside later on in the night and do it.
And
not
they-
at
and
the
he-
same
yes,
That's
they
when
have-
they tell. Yeah,
Correct.
that's when he
Yeah.
tells her. Yeah.
And then he's like, "I gotta fuck off."
Yeah, because I have to go deal with the Emperor and everything. Yep.
Mhm. Yep.
And then that's when
Well, Darth.
when
But
Solo starts to
Darth.
think that Leia and Luke have something going on.
correct.
Right.
And
Gets
that's
all
where we see
jealous.
Han growing as a person, goes to storm away, but then he stops, turns around, and goes back.
Right.
You got it? Sorry, that's one of those. I would probably never noticed it when I was young, but rewatching these, I was like, oh shit, there's like a moment of him actually trying to be a proper person.
Yeah, exactly.
And you see him do
Growing.
that a couple times.
You
If you
do.
really pay attention to him, you see that to him in most of his pivotal moments.
Yeah,
you
like
can
he's-
actually watch his character just kind of like realize it
Yeah.
and change. But
Man, Harrison Ford's great.
the least favorite part in this entire movie was sending Luke back to Yoda just to kill Yoda.
Well, he didn't kill Yoda.
Okay, he didn't kill him. He dies.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I meant
just,
the
just for
story.
just for them
The
to.
story. Oh my gosh,
He's
the
gonna kill
story
Yoda.
kills him off. Like, really?
But when
Really?
800 years.
But
old,
here's the
you
thing,
reach-
though. Like, one thing they established, and I thought they did a really good job with Obi, it's that typically if you're a Jedi on the light side, you kind of know the natural progression of your life. And I think that's what they were trying to show you is that, oh, yeah, Yoda knew this was coming. And again, for the sake of convenience, Luke shows up to be there for his final moments and go through that.
We want to have one of those deep conversations.
That's what we're here.
All right. And I actually thought they did a really good thing because there are moments in family things where somebody just holds on as they're going through Cruft. They make it through Christmas or a birthday, and as soon as they make it through that,
Oh, yeah.
You know,
It's like my
and,
job's
and
done.
he probably knew that he
Yeah.
didn't need to necessarily be there physically,
Yeah.
Right.
right?
I'm
Because
done being
there's
a sad
still
little girl about it now. I get it.
there's still the force ghost aspect of
Well,
it.
his Force Ghost is like 60 years old now. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, so he didn't need to be there physically because
he's
Obi-Wan
transcended,
was
right?
always helping
That's
out
fair.
Luke
Yeah.
regardless.
and apparently Qui-Gon, which we didn't learn until 7, I think.
20
Yeah.
years later.
Yeah.
Whatever. But whatever. Sorry. So that was the worst part of the movie, Nikki.
Yeah, sorry.
So you didn't like that?
Because
Did it make
the
you
little
sad?
the little girl inside of me got really sad.
Okay.
And that's why I didn't like it. But
Yeah,
now
I ca-
that I'm being talked to and being told like an adult about, the whole job being done and blah, 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 I'll take it. Listen to me. Now I sound heartless about it.
No, but what you're saying makes sense.
But
It's kind of
like
weird. He just shows up and then Yoda dies.
it's
Like,
how
what?
how shitty for Luke.
I know.
To be
It is
like,
shitty
okay,
for you.
I'm back. I'm here. I'm ready. I'm good to go. Like, let's finish this up. And he goes, sorry, kiddo.
Yeah.
I'm too tired.
So does that mean he had finished his training then before he left?
Yeah, Yoda
Yeah,
says so.
Yoda
yeah,
says so.
Yoda. That's
Yeah.
kind of what Yoda's final words are, essentially. Is
Other than going out
There's
to
no more
meet
training for
Vader.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yoda's kind of a dick.
And then he leaves,
Which-
goes, talks, finds out he has a sister, and
Can we touch upon something for a moment?
maybe.
Aside from Luke realizing his destiny to become a Jedi and finding out that, spoiler alert, Leia's a sister.
What? Next thing you can tell me is Darth Vader's his
I
dad or
know.
something.
Can anybody name one good thing that happens to him? It's almost like for those things to happen, like the shittiest things in his life happen. Very much like Anakin too, in a way.
I
think that's kind of the point.
I guess so. Yeah.
That's
Like,
usually
because obviously
yeah.
4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. So that was kind of the point of what they did with Anakin. It was, I think they were showing us like, you've already seen Luke go through this, but guess what? His dad went through the same shit,
right.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
similar.
yeah, I mean,
Just
Because I think
sometimes
Luke
you got to
actually,
get shit on to see the bright side,
gotta get to
Yeah.
get the flowers, right?
right?
Yeah. And Luke, in my opinion, goes through it, but he goes through it in that positive, being supported way.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He doesn't.
There-
he doesn't
yeah,
take a
there is
line
definitely-
down.
That's
Yeah.
what I was gonna say. Is like
Yeah.
Luke has a supportive team around him, and most of the shit that's bad that happens to Luke happens after he's more of an adult.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas Anakin, a lot of his stuff starts tormenting him at a young
That's some,
age.
childhood
Yeah.
trauma.
Like he's
versus
thrown
kinda-
in at
yeah.
childhood into this whole world of wars, and like
Yeah.
you got to think. Like I was gonna say too, one of my points on these 3 movies versus the other 3 is there's not a lot of politics in 4, 5, and 6.
Oh, no.
There's
no,
like
there's
none.
zero.
Very,
right?
very,
like
very
there's
little.
there's
It
wars
is
happening,
zero.
and you know there's a war against
Yeah.
the good versus the evil,
Yeah.
but that's all you really know. Whereas in 1, 2, and 3, it's like, oh no, there's this and there's this guy and there's this and there's like, I mean, I know I was beyond confused with the politics stuff in 1, 2, and 3, but so without having that, you kind of got to see other parts of it too, right? So
Sure.
Mhm.
And you guys bring up a good point. Really, I mean, Luke he does handle things positively. Like you really only see his teenage angst in the fact that he chooses black clothing for his Jedi garb. It's really it.
that too, yeah, that is a little weird now that you say that.
Yeah,
Didn't
but I
think of
mean,
it
like,
that way.
it
It's
makes
a
sense.
style.
It's a
Well,
style.
He's going
And-
through his thing.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
emo
What did
Luke.
we wear
It's
back in the 90s? Come
Oh,
on.
It's black suit, Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man. It's the same thing.
Oh, thankfully he didn't dance.
Well, and he
yeah.
only shows his like his youngness, I'll call it, for lack of finding a better word right now, when he's fighting someone too. Like
Luke, you mean?
yeah, like
Yeah.
in number 5 when he starts fighting Darth Vader the first time, you finally see this like angry little boy come out, and
Yeah.
like you see it again when he, well, you don't see it as much actually in this one.
It's in there a
number
bit.
6. It's
Yeah.
in there a little
he,
bit, but
he takes
he's
a couple
lot,
good cracks where he's
But
he's
he's
a lot
kinda
more
More
fuck you kind
refined.
of
right,
crack. Yeah.
or like that first initial crack when he goes to hit the Emperor and Darth stops him.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, like that one was
Yes.
very much so. Screw you, dude. What are you
Very
doing?
impetuous, yeah.
But that's also I think why Vader stops him. Like if you
'Cause he
do
knows
that-
what
If you
happens.
do that, you're going to the side that he's winning, right? So like he's stopping him, which
he knows what happens when he wins. Yeah.
Mhm.
total Anakin lover over here. Oh my god, greatest of all 3 movies.
To see him
was
do
That is
was
something
to
you gotta-
see that whole with the 3 of them, because I hate the Emperor. I hate him.
Well, that's good.
Oh wow. Okay.
Not only just like because he is the big bad guy, but like I hate his character. I think it's just the actor and the storytelling for his character does a good job because it gets to me.
Good. Yeah. He plays a good
Right?
heel,
Like
yeah.
he could play a villain in anything, I'm sure.
Mm.
But like it was really good, and like so he really thought that he had control over Vader, first of all, which now you learn, okay, maybe he didn't.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking of the psychology of Vader, and he's got to be pretty pissed off at the Emperor, because apparently living inside that suit is not the most fun thing in the world. Like he's constantly
Well,
in
even at
pain,
the end of
right?
this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Take the mask off. Let me see with my own eyes.
Oh, I got
Mhm.
something in my eyeball. But yeah, he's
Speaking of-
and you can't say that he doesn't know that Palpatine kind of fucked him over
Well, no,
in
I
the
think
lo-
he
like
does
in the
know
big
that.
picture,
he
right? Like,
does, but also too,
so
like,
he's got to be pissed off about that too.
but there's something to be said about commitment, right? I mean,
Well, it's this
But
whole
was there a
loyalty
reason?
thing, right?
Was there
Yeah.
a reason for the
It's-
loyalty? Was it a long game?
great question.
I think the loyalty thing is just based off of respect for the Force. To be honest, like I think it has to do with
Respecting your master.
This is my master. This is what I got to do. And then when it came back into him realizing that Luke was who Luke was, he's like, "Oh, well, hold on." Like Luke even says, "There's good in him still. I
Right.
feel it. I feel there is still good in
Good
him."
call.
So, I want to ask you
Right?
that
No,
as
good
a
call.
as a I don't want to say new fan, but newer fan, if you want to call it that. When because he says that a lot in 6.
Yeah.
Do you buy it? Like when you're paying attention to their interactions, are you like, oh yeah, no, I definitely see Vader being a good, like there's good in him still. Like, did you see that playing out, or were you like, no, this is
I was I was a little surprised when he stopped him, but I don't think I was too surprised at that point. Like
okay?
it took a lot. I think it was more just before it happened. You kind of start to realize it when you're sitting there and you're watching
the
Vader
head
in
thing.
those interactions.
Yeah,
he's
he's
kind of like
thinking.
That's what I was just thinking about.
he's
Right?
thinking
looking
a
at this
lot.
and
He's
looking at
paying
that.
attention to how Luke and the Emperor are talking, and he's really focused on what Luke's saying. And I think it's because over the course of these movies, he's gained respect for Luke, even if it's not as a son, but as a Jedi or as just another person. I mean,
That's given him a lot of
He's-
credit. Shit.
he's bested you. Wouldn't you want to meet the person that keeps besting you? Like whether he's your son, like so. There's a lot of things that can kind of tie into that, but I've always thought that even when like at the end of number 3 and everything, like there's always been a bit of good in Anakin, which is because I mean the Emperor is probably a whole other story, but with Anakin I always thought there was always a bit of good left in him because I don't think he really fully wanted to be on the dark side. I think the events of his life led him to that.
Do it.
I think you're right
Yeah.
because I think he kind of just okay, right? Like
Yeah.
this is where I am now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, and
kind of
his
attitude.
anger.
Like, yeah, I'm at
Well, yeah,
this
there's the
point.
anger,
Yeah.
but she's saying there's still that little like
There
he
is
didn't-
the good.
He didn't necessarily want to. He just kind of did.
That's the way he was.
It wasn't
was
like
the life
I'm
that-
gonna be on the dark side. Yay!
It was the
more
life
like,
that the people laid out for him in front of him. The
Yeah.
positions he was put in,
Mhm.
that whole like on one shoulder, on the other
When in
shoulder.
Rome, I guess.
Like
Hmm.
if you
Well,
will.
There's also something to be said about the fact that aside from when he was first initiated as Qui-Gon's, Obi-Wan's Padawan, his abhorrent defiance to being a Jedi contrasted with his complete obedience to being a Sith. Right?
did he refuse the Jedi, or did the Jedi refuse him?
Jedi refused him. I was going
Yeah.
to say, my memory, that's different.
See, yeah,
'Cause
but
the council
why
kept
did
saying
they
He joined
no.
the
He wanted to be a
council.
Jedi
Yeah.
so bad, and they were like, no.
No. Yeah.
So then when Sidious was like, hey, you can still be
Yeah.
a Jedi,
Sure,
but
but why?
Because everybody has the potential for bad, and Yoda thought he had a lot of potential because of the childhood he was having.
Yes.
So it still had to do with
Yeah.
the
There
moments
was
of
too
his
much.
life leading him
Yeah.
to one side versus the other.
Yeah.
But now we're jumping back.
we are.
But yeah.
apparently this episode's got us on the deep convo.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
But
Look
like,
at that. You put us in a studio and look what happens.
But yeah,
You're all night,
like so
folks.
I thought it was kind of cool how they definitely humanized Darth again at the end of this battle, and even within
Oh,
the
the
battle,
helmet went
like,
off. I
like-
love that scene.
Yeah.
like
too.
stopping
Love it.
stopping the initial hit at the Emperor, and then being the person that essentially saved Luke's life by killing the Emperor, who he
Right.
just so defiantly obeyed for the last
Forever,
3
yeah.
movies. He just throws him down a freaking chute, and away
Yeah.
you go. Like,
Slice in half.
you know,
Because that's my baby.
and then yeah, like Dave, you were just saying, like the whole helmet thing. Like,
Yeah, I
you know,
love
I
that.
want to see you with my own eyes, and like, I think a lot of it also turned when Vader learned about Leia, because he knew about Luke,
Yeah,
but he didn't know about Leia. Leia was a complete secret to him until Luke said something.
That's true. Well,
Yeah, I forgot about that one too.
there's theories out there that he knew Leia was his kid, like right from 4. I don't know if that's true, but there's theories out there. He just never acknowledged it. Because
I have no.
'cause
I
here's
don't
the
know
thing,
where
right?
they would get that
Because that's
theory
why he
from,
didn't
though.
kill her.
right. Because here's the thing.
He was going to kill her though.
She was bait.
Yeah,
but he never did.
because of the timing. But either way,
Yeah.
It was a convenient timing
Convenient.
thing, I think.
Convenience. Yes.
Wait.
That
Theme of this
damn
episode.
convenient.
as much as I love 4, 5, and 6, I must agree. Yeah, there's a lot of convenience going on.
Oh yeah, sure. This episode will be titled "A Matter of Convenience."
Yeah. Sorry. Like, even I'll agree. I love that there is. It's what I remember, but
For
yeah.
sure, yeah.
I also love when Leia has to explain to Han that her and Luke are brother and sister, and that it's okay for her to love him
yeah.
and Han at the same time.
Yeah.
That's not great.
Like I was like, oh well, okay, I guess I'll just I'll stand back. And she's like, no, you idiot, he's
Yeah.
my brother. Like, come on,
Oh.
don't be so stupid. Like he knew.
For
Come
sure.
on. But no, like, and then yeah, I guess it just kind of ends, and you get to see Darth cremated, and
Yeah.
And
That's
space
That's
ghost,
it.
Force ghosts watching over him.
Space
and-
Ghost, coast to coast.
And yeah, and then he's also young. So why is Obi old?
Okay.
Why
Wait
is
a second.
Oh, you gotta
why
walk.
is Obi Ghost old? Like he was when he died, and
Because they
Anakin
effed with it.
So
is,
great question.
is young.
Yeah, originally,
I'm assuming it's because of the whole movie thing, and it never was like that before.
originally he was old.
He was originally.
It was
old.
the original actor who played Darth Vader inside the
David
suit.
Prowse.
right.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the ghost, but in Lucas's fucking infinite wisdom, he thought, well, since we got 1, 2, and 3, we're gonna reimagine certain things in the movie anyway. We may as just CGI his ghost into it instead.
Because technically he killed Anakin.
Right. Which I guess is okay, but I'm like, there was nothing wrong with the original
No,
version.
the
I don't
original
know
was.
why.
No.
I mean, you could take it as a premise of when Anakin's good side essentially died, right?
That's the only
Yes.
logical.
I will give on
Then-
that one a
But-
bit.
That's the
because
only logical
how
thing I
many?
can think
Because
of.
why isn't Sidious a ghost hanging out and still messing
Well,
with people?
Sith Lords are a whole different thing, and I don't want to spoil stuff for you, so I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say anything.
Okay.
but Sith ghosts are different than Jedi ghosts.
Yeah, some ghosts. Yeah, some ghosts are. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways.
we'll get into that.
But yeah, so it was a little weird.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing.
Yeah, I'm glad you noticed it though.
Yeah,
I did. I noticed it.
way to pay
Both
attention.
times I watched it, I noticed it. Well, again, I pay attention to
Oh no,
Anakin's
I know, but these are
character,
like very
right? So-
in-depth elements that you're pulling out for seeing the first time. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's really else. Like I can't even count how many times I've seen. Well, we've seen Star Wars at least like 5 times, 10 times again. I don't know how many times. So like these conversations have kind of hit us in certain realms, but so for someone to have seen it for the first time and they're talking about it, like, wow, that's awesome.
And to be honest, if you ever want to see the originals, I have a DVD that were made from VHS tapes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
just warning
wow.
you, they look like what you think they look like.
Oh,
I tried
that's-
to watch one, and I'm like, no, my memories are far better.
I
My memories are in HD.
I
at
might
least.
want those.
I got enough cannabis. I want them.
I have to admit, instead, I went on there's a piece of web software where you can watch videos. I went on there to watch where somebody had already gone through and actually showed you all the different scenes and
Oh,
the years
yeah?
they were modified.
Gosh.
Yeah, highly recommend if you actually want to go see what they
think I
look like.
have-
We will have that link in our comments, and Dave will give us that link, so
Yeah,
we all have
like,
it.
I
I'll
think
go
I
with
have
it.
the first special edition on VHS.
Oh, really?
When they released
the
like,
way back, yeah,
the
I got
original special edition.
Aren't those
Yeah.
worth
Yes,
some
I
money?
think
Well, I
they're.
don't know.
I think they're in our
Yeah.
closet.
I think they are worth some money.
Rather
We should
they're
look
in
into
the
that,
basement in one of
I
those
digress.
giant
But either way,
crates of
I'll
VHS
send you
movies,
this
Yeah.
YouTube link. It's
Please do,
far
yes.
better than trying to go through what I'm talking about.
I find like when you watch some of them though, like being somebody that hasn't watched them numerous times or has watched probably, I think I might have seen the OG
Yeah.
tapes at some point, like when I was a kid, but I
Yeah,
wouldn't remember. But you can see, like I said in like number 4, like you can see that that animal wasn't in the background originally.
or
like,
you can gaff.
right, like you can tell a
Mhm.
lot of these different things, and so I'm like, yeah, I don't know, like
I'd say that was the one that had the most doctoring done to
random
it.
crap.
Yeah.
thrown
4,
in.
6.
4 and 6.
4 and 6 were.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, 4 and
Well,
6.
because if
were the
trying to
6
think
was
about
the
six.
Anakin one, then
Yeah.
yeah, they definitely
Well,
did quite a bit of that.
the music,
Yeah, but-
the
And the music.
worms,
The extra
extra
scenes.
ships.
See, they
Yeah.
had a lot of that in 4 as well. I didn't.
Oh, yeah,
I guess I
4.
didn't
Yeah.
notice it by 6.
Yeah.
Well,
as much.
Because
kinda
it
Like
already happened.
there's obviously the end.
Yeah.
The end of and then the Force Ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Force Ghost, and then the party scene thing
The cantina.
where everybody's celebrating, and
Yeah.
then what's his name's cantina there.
Yeah.
Jabba's.
The big
Jabba's
thing
Cantina, yeah.
for
The
me was
Twi'lek.
that 4 you can see because in the original
That's it.
4 there wasn't a lot of special effects actually when you go back to think of the originals.
Oh yeah.
It's all practical, yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
all just it's again made in 77. So
Well,
other than the ships in space, that was definitely a thing. But like that's all they really had.
it's one of the reasons why when 7 and 9 were being announced and stuff, they were very focused on creating practical effects.
Yeah,
'cause they
they still
wanted
did a
to
lot of that.
Capture that.
Keep that.
Because like 1, 2, and 3 pretty much has like none.
Mhm.
Really, I mean, it's all set pieces and CGI.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which
CGI of that time.
oh boy,
Ugh.
yeah, CGI
Won't get
that
into
time,
it.
Yeah, well, it's, time, I tell you.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Cool.
yeah. So, what other notes about Return of the Jedi would you like to regale us with?
Return of the Jedi.
That would be episode 6.
Like that's pretty much it that I
Okay.
can think of. Like,
All right, so we'll keep it in theme.
yeah,
Certain scenes or characters that jump out at you aside from kind of we talked about. Is there anyone that you thought like I don't know if they really introduced any new characters and except for Sidious kinda, but he was introduced in
You're-
5.
Ewoks.
it depends. Well,
That's right.
Insidious, it depends on. Again, if you
Mhm.
watched 1, 2, and 3 before watching them, you know
Yeah.
that character,
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So like I know where he comes from.
Mhm.
Right.
I guess if you watch it that way, you're watching more of an arc as opposed to like. Yeah. Okay.
And that's why
I'm
I
just thinking
wanted.
about it. Yeah, you're seeing it more linear, and then you're like, okay, well, whatever. But
Yeah.
if you watch 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, you're kind of a little more astonished as to where he came from,
Right.
Yeah.
as opposed to
Well, one
what's
thing
going
I'm
to happen.
One thing I'm sorry to, and I know Nikki's got a point. I want to hear it, but one thing I'm realizing in this conversation we're having with you, seeing this for the first time, because there's a huge debate amongst like all Star Wars fans on like which order you should watch them in. I am now firmly fucking convinced 4, 5, and 6 first. That's it.
Yeah.
Like there's no question. You shouldn't even bother watching 1, 2, 3, 7, and 9 in any order until you see 4, 5, and 6. Because
Why?
otherwise, because of the big moments you're missing in like the especially 5, but 4 and 5 like the Darth Vader moment, the brother and sister moment, all these extra pieces aren't hitting you because you already know what's going to happen as it's coming. There are other moments that happen, sure, but I feel like if you don't know anything about Star Wars and you're seeing 4, 5, and 6 for the first time, it's going to be a much bigger wave of, oh, okay, wow, I didn't see that happening than it would be if you were to do 1, 2, and 3
Yes.
beforehand. Yeah, I'm firmly convinced. And
Because then you'd have all.
argue with me.
Because then you'd have all the questions, and then 1, 2, and 3 answers in a way those questions that you have after seeing 4,
Right.
5, and 6.
Yeah.
I actually want all of our listeners to comment. Whatever you're listening
Yeah.
to this on, I want you to comment what you think the order is that you should watch these movies because I disagree.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah, that's
I mean,
fine, yeah.
and like, but like, you guys have probably, I don't know if you guys have watched them both ways consecutively like I have right now,
Mm,
but
Yeah.
like, if for me, I think that watching it in the arc the way it is and having those growths, yeah, okay, so it's not a big shocker when Vader says, I am your father, or when you find out Leia and Luke are siblings. It's, you get to actually connect to the movies differently, I guess, maybe. Like,
That's fair.
I'm like,
That is a good argument.
right, like, so I care, I mean, I care about different things in these movies than I think maybe a lot of people do, but.
It's a good argument. The only thing I
Yeah.
would throw out there is in all of our discussions about the order, they never made one. What's this one you keep talking about? That doesn't exist.
There is no one. I know.
There is no
That's not even a movie.
Yeah, I can't say that I've ever necessarily up until now volunteered myself to watch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Hmm.
It's always been 4, 5, 6, and I'm gonna go to bed now, so I'll put on 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah, no, I liked watching them in the order I watched them in. I could be my OCD maybe too, but I enjoyed it, and I thought that I don't think seeing those certain scenes as surprises makes a big difference to the movie's storyline in general.
No,
that's
but
not-
to the
like, those
to
are-
the experience, I
Yeah,
think it
like-
might.
But I don't think you'd feel that way if you didn't watch them that way in the first place.
But did you know, like, before even, I mean, you might not be able to,
Nowadays,
this is
but
like
did
an
you know?
easy-
actually experience that though? Got to give that as a bit of credit.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, can you experience it? Like, I was
No.
thinking about that too. I was trying to suggest,
You'd have to find somebody that hasn't watched any of them.
right?
Or talk to somebody.
Like, you obviously, did you know Luke was his son before?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's the thing.
That's,
Like,
I think-
that's
I think
pop
even-
culture, though.
Yeah.
right?
I know,
I, was
and
gonna
that's
say, I think
culture
people who
thing.
haven't seen it now wouldn't
Yeah,
like
probably no.
Hmm.
who even people who have no idea what the whole realm of Star Wars is, whatever, other than Star Wars and Luke, I am your father, which is the wrong line anyway.
It's true. Yeah, it's true.
It'd have to be people who don't necessarily give a shit, I guess, right? Like,
Mm.
even, I mean,
Which I
even
guess is
then, they
anybody
still
who's never
know
seen
Luke,
them.
I am your father, right?
Right.
Like
It's yeah.
I can experiment on some kids. We can have
Well-
kids watch them
Ooh.
like before. Like I don't know, have your
a good
kids
idea.
seen? Dave, have your kids
I will
seen
be
the Star Wars
honest.
movies?
My children at 12 and 10, they likely would not even stick around to
No,
watch the
they don't.
movies.
Yeah.
Well, that's it
Yeah.
too, right? But those would be the only people you'd probably
Yeah.
get
I
that
could
age and maybe
try.
a little younger to watch them.
I have a couple of friends. I'm not gonna.
Just a
give their
couple.
names. Just a couple. But they are.
Wait,
We're
you
in
don't
this
have-
room.
Wait.
They-
I would say you have no other friends.
That's true. These are these are the friends I
thought
have,
we
and
were
I
your
pay you
only
guys. So
friends.
here, thank you. Wait, don't go yet. I got more money. Okay.
You haven't paid me in years, man. Anyway.
Tick,
IOUs,
tock,
man. IOUs. I
tock.
told you.
Oh, yeah, right.
So
Briefcase.
I have actually a couple of friends that, for lack of a better term, are pop culturally challenged. Like they grew up in lifestyles where pop culture and media wasn't a big thing for them.
Hmm.
So Star Wars is a persona non grata to them. Like they just are not aware of it. And I keep trying to suggest them to watch it. And just hasn't happened. Even to the fact that I was saying you guys need to watch The Mandalorian, even though you've never seen Star Wars, you should watch it as a show. So they might be a good couple to kind of get that experiment. But I'm sure they got to know.
They would know.
They got to know certain aspects
would
now.
know.
They have to.
They
right?
would probably know certain aspects, but like I'd be interested to almost have one of them watch it 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and have the other one watch it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Do experiment
Yeah,
on
because-
humans.
Yeah.
I'm on board for
Like,
this.
because I
Yeah,
knew
that's a good
I
idea.
knew most of the stories of all 6 movies before I went and just watched them all again, right?
Right.
So like you're getting a generally first impression, but
Mhm.
like I know these movies.
But you
Some
know,
background,
like
gotcha,
I'm not a complete
newbie.
noob
yeah,
on
yeah.
on the Star Wars world.
Maybe
Like
that's
I
what
mean,
I do,
was
though.
I was pulling
Good
out
idea.
comments about Star Wars well before I decided to sit there and watch them all.
Yeah.
Were you
So.
just saying to people like, "Yeah, I'm your father"?
I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
actually
I
go
just
check
walk
my
up to people
kids.
on the street.
Well,
Who's
hey,
who's
my
who?
friends,
To my-
if
to
you're
your
watching this,
kid.
which I know you are, I'm coming for you. We're gonna get you guys to watch Star Wars.
This scene might be get cut, but
Oh,
sure.
this might get cut. But
Yeah.
If you're listening,
If you're listening,
I'm
If
coming
you're
for it.
listening, I'm coming for
and I
it.
don't mean that in a threatening manner.
And if they get, maybe even just have them watch like a couple of them, and we can have them as a guest on
For sure.
for another Star Wars episode. You can get an actual like
so now when you
fresh.
watch
react.
episode 7, you might see it in a different context,
I'm super excited.
right?
I'm so excited, and I feel like I'm gonna be let down because I don't know. There's so many gaps in when these stories are written and released that I'm
I
wondering
won't say it.
how tied to the audience it is
Right.
instead of the story. Like how much of it is just like 4, 5, and 6 were about toys. How much of 7, 8, 9 is about nostalgic and just kind of keeping
7, 8,
certain
9 is
things.
all about getting 40-year-olds money.
Like
Well,
All
we're
that's what I
jumping a
mean,
bit,
like-
but there, yeah.
so.
Are we gonna?
But I'm really excited still to see.
I'm just thinking toys and stuff like that.
Mm.
Every time one came, there was always the more expensive $30-$40 action figures as opposed
Mm.
to when 1, 2, and 3 came out. There was like the $10 action.
Yeah, they definitely jumped their price points up for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
I-
inflation, 20 years, right?
I'm
Well.
interested.
Who's buying it?
That's right. Sorry.
I mean, like I said, I've seen number 7, or I saw number 7 back when it came out. But I haven't seen 8 or 9. I have no idea what happens to them at all.
Oh my god.
Like I'm completely blind. I
Yeah,
haven't
there's
even
a
watched
thing.
trailer on them.
I'm both
Um,
excited and
But I'm not
nervous for
a
you.
trailer person. Like I don't AJ's like, hey, watch this trailer. And I watched like 2 seconds of it. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I hate trailers. They give away way too much information. But
Well, you know the good parts of the movie. But
exactly.
moving on.
So, but I do remember 7 being quite different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to see
Well, I guess
what
we can say something about that.
a little bit
felt-
about
Later.
it.
Hold
Okay,
it.
okay, yeah,
let's
I'll
let's
hold
stick
it
to
in.
our format.
I'll
sir.
hold it in.
Yeah.
But
I do have a question. Sorry, finish your point, Nikki.
But I think I'm interested to see what characters I gravitate towards in the next 3 because, well, my favorite one's dead. Like, Anakin is gone at the end of number 6.
Oh, gotcha. Yes.
Right?
Mhm.
So, and then you don't really know what happens to the other ones. I do know that, like, that squad isn't necessarily, from my recollections in my memory, isn't really in number 7. Like, the Solo and everybody. Like, but, again, I can't remember exactly how the movie goes. So
Did you see
I'm
the same 7 we did?
I was gonna say you must have
That's
imbibed one or two things
sure.
before walking into that movie theater that made your.
Again,
But I hear
we
you.
don't like.
Yeah.
Again, I've watched it once, and then it's been out of my memory since then.
been a few
so
years, yeah.
like, it'll be quite interesting for us to sit down, and it'll be a
I'm
lot
excited.
of sorry guys, what happened in that
Yeah.
one? I'll have to watch them a couple of times.
Well, they are definitely the 3 I've seen the least, and I don't know if I'm happy or ashamed to say that. My question to you, Nikki,
Yeah, I agree.
as we did last episode about this, if you could, how would you rank 4, 5, and 6? And, if you will, the 6 you've seen, how would you rank them?
So for these 3, number 6, number 5, number 4.
Yeah, 1, 2, and 3.
So 6 because it gave me the Anakin I wanted at the end.
Respectable.
Fair.
Um,
Yeah, I'm all right
5
with that.
because I did like learning about Yoda a bit and that kind of.
And you still
aspect.
don't know much about him.
But
We
you
still
don't. But
He's
like,
still an enigma.
It is true.
I just liked that, and I also we didn't touch on it, but I liked the weird scene. I guess they do kind of have a bit of a vision dream thing because Luke
Oh, where he goes
cuts
into the
Vader's
tree.
head off in the
Yes.
woods or whatever.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
didn't talk
And
about
then
that. So, like,
sees
so there's
himself.
certain
Yeah.
little things in
Goes
5
into
that
the
kind of
force
just grab my
tree.
attention.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 4, I just did.
Okay. We'll just forget that last comment.
For all of them, I wish I remembered how I
Sleeping on
ranked
the couch.
the other ones.
We're gonna
last
compare, don't worry.
episode. I'm like thinking like can we
You did.
listen back to the last time
I
we were
think
here?
you were 3, 1,
For-
2. I think. If I'm
Yeah,
correct.
I'm not. I don't remember, but
Okay, that's okay. What out of these
but I
6, then?
know that the first 3 are definitely my top 3. Like 1, 2, and 3, I do like more than 4, 5, and 6.
What Twilight doors, Silent Zone door do you step into?
Oh.
It's a good
I'm
thing
hearing
our couch
this.
is comfortable 'cause somebody's
We're-
sleeping on her tonight.
Thank God we're already married. Eh?
That's what I'm saying. You're sleeping on the couch.
In all of my
But-
conversations with Star Wars, this is twice now. I've never had anybody take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So,
But
this
have you
is
ever
crazy.
sat down with somebody as much of an Anakin fan as me?
Probably not.
No. Actually,
yeah.
I can honestly say I've never have.
No, yeah, that's true.
No.
He's usually a low point for most people.
Yeah.
Right. Not a lot of people like the bad guy, right?
Right.
So,
Well, actually,
Well, I don't
I
know
just-
if it's about that. I've heard like nobody. We all kind of came to the consensus. Well, us 3. He's a whiny bitch.
yeah.
No.
But
In 1, 2, and 3, he's
But-
a whiny emo little bitch.
I'll give you
Sorry.
a bit of credence, if you will. I know my wife is actually an Anakin fan, so I think there's something there. I don't think it's. I mean, we obviously have our
so
nostalgic
he's
color
being
glasses
sexist
on.
about it.
That's true.
No,
too.
not about.
I
No,
wasn't
mean-
going to bring it
I
up,
mean,
but hey,
I mean,
you did.
no, I'm being a wifeist about it. Okay, I'm a
A
wifeist.
wifeist.
Yeah. Okay.
Wipes.
All right. In fact, Shannon says the same thing. Shannon says,
Unfortunately,
just-
my wife is in that. She's aware of it, but I don't think she's ever really, other than just to be sitting in, the couch while I'm watching it. That's about all.
one of the best things Shannon ever did was we all were in high school, like a couple of years ago.
Hmm.
I may have not went to school one day because we used to all hang out at Shan's place, Shan's dad's place or parents' place. And one of the nice things, I was playing hooky. She was sick. She was legit sick. I was definitely not. And she's like, "You want to watch Star Wars?" I'm like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
are you gonna be my wife?"
I know.
And I just thought that was.
It
good.
did
And
not
actually,
work out that way. I came
I will
in.
say,
and
I know. I actually will say that was actually a weird bonding moment for Shannon. So, anyways, one of the
Yeah,
cool
nice.
cool moments from back in the day. Moving on. So I'm not
So-
really a wifeist. I'm an equal wife opportunist.
I don't
even know what that
you better
means.
take that
I'm
one out.
just-
Anyway, moving on.
sorry.
Yeah.
Equal-
So whatever order my first 3 were in the last episode would be my top 3 still, and then 6, 5, 4.
Wow.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
Oh.
shit.
All right.
Sorry.
Okay.
You can hate me in the comments all you want. I'm up for the fight. I have no problem.
Well, you know what? On that
Not a
note,
problem at
Nikki,
all.
as we wrap things up here, if people do want to comment in social
yell
media
me out.
space about
Oh,
Star
no.
Wars and your opinions on 1, 2, and 3 versus 4, 5, and 6, where can they find you?
I am on Instagram at Nikki May 89, and I am on. I have my band page at Mad Moxie's band. You can reach out to me there, but maybe not about the podcast. And don't hate on me for Star Wars on my band page, but
As we
please go
said-
give us a like.
As we keep saying, be nice.
Yeah,
Just be nice.
be nice.
You don't have to be a dick. You can be nice and still have an opinion. You know.
Yeah.
That's right.
Listen, do you want Nikki to not watch Star Wars? Come
No,
on.
she's only got 9 more hours left.
It's
Oh,
like-
yeah.
Well, if we talk about just the original,
just
then we can
talking
get some of
about
the
Yeah, then we-
extended.
I know.
Right.
Well, I mean,
We
Oh,
already
you
went
haven't seen
down
Rogue
that
One yet,
tunnel.
have you?
No,
No.
I have not. I have
See,
not seen Rogue One. I
that-
have not seen Solo.
that might change. Solo, maybe not, but Rogue
Rogue
One might
One?
change your opinion.
Fuck, that was a good movie.
So good.
Pretty
After I
decent.
Wow.
finish,
Good.
after I finish 7, 8, 9, I will go and watch Rogue One. We don't have to do an episode on it, but I will let you guys
Like,
know my thoughts on it.
I would
That was a
rank
good one.
Rogue One over episodes 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, not even a question. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's
Well-
really great.
I would rank the jam in between my pinky toe better than 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going to go the other way. I'm like, okay.
Well, on that note,
Yep.
we've been going on for
And we could.
an hour and a half, and we could do this all day. And you know what? Maybe in our future is a Star Wars talking marathon. People want to hear us talk about Star Wars and want
I
to
don't
give us
think
money
anybody
to do
wants
that.
to hear us talk
Yeah,
about
I was
anything
gonna say,
that
nobody's gonna do that.
long.
Maybe
People will
maybe
tell
maybe
you
just
that.
do it live and
Yeah,
chat
we'll
with
see.
people
I'm
live
I'm
Live
having
about
a
it.
forced
Dollars.
moment right now. I'm seeing people tapping their watches while listening
Going
to
on,
this.
I know.
Go, what the
Like,
fuck?
I did my
I
dishes an
actually
hour
just-
ago, and I still got to listen to this thing.
It's okay. I just looked at my watch too, so
For sure. Yeah. We've
we
gone-
understand your pain.
we can definitely do. But hey, listen, like I said before, any day we can get around and spend hours talking about Star
Mhm.
Wars is a damn good day, especially with your friends. This is pretty amazing.
This is good.
So we'll wrap up on this note, and we just want to say thank you so much for giving us your time and hanging out with us. And if you are kind enough to listen, we just want to let you know you matter. You mean a lot, and if it's not just to us, someone else important in your life. So just make sure to reach out if you've got something going on in the mental space there.
And may the force be with you.
May the
Always.
force be with you. And until
Right?
next
May
time,
the force be with you.
Right.
Is that how you do it?
AJ, you're gonna get punched. You're gonna punch with a Vulcan fist. It's gonna happen.
No, it's the Vulcan nerve pinch. Thank you. Well, that's a whole other thing.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Nikki.
I'm gonna call it on this
for
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this has been a Sarcastic Distraction and featuring the Gentleman's Society of Podcasting. As always, I'm Harvey.
Dave.
Howdy, AJ.
Nikki, thank you so much for being so awesome and being one hell of a guest.
You're very
I mean, I
welcome.
know we don't have much to compare to, but you're by far the best guest we've had so far. So thank you so much.
Definitely
And-
the best lady guest.
Definitely the best lady guest. And we just want to say thank you so much for doing this. Like, you put so much work and effort into it. We really appreciate it. And for all those watching, until next Wednesday, thanks for getting distracted with us. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Excellent. Bye.